You know, I want a fella, but they seem to think that I ought to want them all. And that I ought to go down on my knees with gratitude because they still fancy me.
Does someone like Ray attract you?
I didn't encourage him.
I didn't say you encouraged him.
Of course someone like Ray attracts me. And not just him and all his gang. The new crop of fellas look very good to me. Look, if it's all right for you to look at a bird in miniskirts and go, yum, yum, then I'm not going to be ashamed of liking to look at young men.
She just adored being Elsie Tanner. She was Elsie Tanner, is the truth, I think, really.
Can you give me one good reason why I should let you stay here? Well, I can, because I'm daft. I didn't say as daft as all that. Do you know the difference between human beings and animals? Well, human beings always make the same mistake. Animals don't.
They say if you never make a mistake, you never make anything.
By gum. With my production record, I should be head of British Leyland. All right, you can move in. But first of all, we get the rules right. Right?
Right.
Right.
My first thoughts about Pat Phoenix, for instance, was that she was incredibly beautiful. I couldn't take my eyes off her. I thought she was lovely to look at.
I mean, she could have gone and done a personal appearance at 9 o'clock in the morning. She looked so lovely. But she always brought 2 extra sets of clothes with her. And we would work, say, from 10 in the morning to 1 o'clock in one outfit. And then she'd have luncheon, and then she'd change into another lovely outfit, you see, to work the rest of the afternoon. We all felt like sluts at the side of her. She was so lovely.
You're very quiet tonight.
I'm in that sort of mood.
You want to change your drink. I think that gin depresses you.
I know, that's why I have tonic in it, love.
The name Pat Phoenix became synonymous with the golden age of Coronation Street. Known throughout the country as Elsie Tanner, she brought a touch of glamour to the back streets. Even Prime Minister James Callaghan labelled her the sexiest thing on TV. Her 2 stints in Weatherfield brought with it some of the most memorable moments in the show's history. This is a look back at some of those moments, as well as behind-the-scenes stories from those who knew her.
Come on, Dennis Tanner, where is it?
Where's what?
Don't come innocent with me. You know as well as I do.
Don't know what you're talking about.
2 bob gone out of my purse. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, what are you looking at me for? It's nothing to do with me.
Oh, and I suppose some Mayfair cat burglar called in and nicked it.
Funny, yeah?
Now, look. Let's get this straight. Not an hour ago, you asked me for 2 bob for cigarettes.
And you wouldn't give it me, we know.
So you stooped to going in a lady's handbag.
Just listen it. A lady, is that what you crack on you are these days?
Fine son, a fine son you are. That tongue of yours will get you on one of these days.
Oh, give over. Luke, you've lost 2 bob. I don't know where it is. What am I supposed to do about it?
Get work. That's what you're supposed to do about it.
Change record, will you?
Did you go down to the Labour today?
I'm not due till tomorrow.
You know what your trouble is, don't you? You just don't want work. Did you bother to look through the adverts in the newspapers?
What papers? We only get the 1 in the morning. There's nothing in that, you know there isn't.
Oh, you could have gone down to the reading room, couldn't you? Here am I, working myself to death, and you can't even stir yourself to go and look through a newspaper.
What sort of job would they have for me?
There's plenty of jobs for them that take the trouble to look for them.
Yeah, and they ask you what experience you've had.
Well, you've had experience.
Not the right kind, though. Just drop it.
No, I won't. It's the same every time.
Luke! You know as well as I do why I can't get a job.
Been out of that place 7 weeks now.
Oh, don't. Let's wrap it up. If you mean prison, say it. Everyone else does.
You can't go on like this.
Well, what am I supposed to do? Just tell me that.
Oh, why had it to be me that I'd have a son like you?
Suppose you'd rather have me like Kenneth Barlow at number 3.
And what's wrong with him? Let me tell you something. He'll have no trouble getting a job because he's got it up here, in the upper story, and that's where it counts. I sometimes wish we were more like them Barlows. At least they're not rowing all the time. Oh, Linda. I don't know what we're going to do.
What about? Our kid? How much has he done about getting a job? I mean, has he been at prisoner's aid yet?
You know, 3 of us can't manage on what I earn.
What do you mean, 3 of us? I'm only here for the week.
Are you?
Well, yes.
Come on. Out with it. You've left him, haven't you?
I suppose I have, really.
Well, why?
So just didn't like being called Mrs. Chevesky. How'd you find out?
I didn't. I just guessed. Well, what happened?
He had a bust-up.
Well, what over?
Oh, I don't know. We've had that many recently, we never stop having them. He's that moody.
Oh, well, foreigners are. Are you sure that's all it is?
That's all.
You haven't been doing anything you shouldn't, have you?
What do you mean?
Oh, well, you're not a kid anymore. It's no secret round here why your dad left me.
Well, it's me that's done the leaving this time. I've left Ivan. I'm not going back
And
now.
what are you going to do?
Get a job, I suppose.
Oh, and where will you live?
I can't go back, Mum, I can't. You don't know what he's like when he gets one of his moods on him. You're frightened what he might do.
Are you really set on this? Oh, well. You know you're welcome here if you want to stay. But try and get on a bit with our Dennis. For all I go at him, he's not had it easy, you know. What about your clothes? Did you bring your things?
Most of them.
Oh, now we know what that dirty great suitcase was in here of. You'll have to get a job, you know that, don't you?
Anything going at your place?
Not in our department. A couple of girls left in millinery the other day. I'll look into that tomorrow. Well, I suppose we have to be grateful for small mercies. At least the ham's not off. And the next time, that Lorraine Chadwick's not having a ball back.
Old friends are best, staunch, faithful and true. So, friend of my heart, season's greetings to you. From Harold, Nora and the kiddies. Hey, who are they?
Oh, I don't know. It comes every year. Have you seen my pen anywhere?
Here.
Oh. You know, it's the same every year. I say I won't send any, and I'll finish up buying what everybody's left.
Let's have a look. Hey, Mum, I think these are Catholic.
How the heckers like.
Well, they're religious of some sort.
Oh, you know, and I do like something a bit showy. Something with a bit of ribbon and some of that glitter stuff about it.
How much were they?
Twopence each from one of them parsons shops. No verses either.
Ma'am,
What?
lend us £5.
No.
Oh, go on.
I said no.
In came this big lady. I mean, and she was big in those days, and she had a green tweed, Irish tweed, two-piece suit on, sort of, well, it was, I think, it was December, yes, so, you know, she was properly dressed, but it was rather garish, and she was blousy and over the top, you know, and that was Pat. But I mean, you know, she and I had a wonderful relationship as mother and son. I mean, it was just terrific working with her.
I can see myself now, a different fella every night. And my two kids sat on the doorstep with a fish and 2 penny of chips. And Ida Barlow running herself ragged, baking bread, darning socks, washing up at the Imperial. You know what brought it all back?
Go on.
The night the gas maid broke. Remember, they shunted us all across to the mission hall. It was me with my noisy lot, and I had a Barlow clucking like round hers like a mother hen. Not 2 feet between us, chalk and cheese.
I wasn't involved in that.
Well, you should have been. It's a good night's entertainment. Except for Ena. She made us very welcome, I don't think.
And you can turn that thing off to start. And don't all stand gawping at me, I live here.
We know.
Did you say something, Mrs. Tanner?
Yes, I did, Mrs. Sharples, and while I'm about to, I'll say something else. It's bad enough being chucked out of your house, and having to stay the night here is a damn sight worse, but when you start chucking your flaming waste about, that's the limit. And if we want a bit of music, we shall have a bit of music.
Oh, will you? We'll see about that.
Were you wanting something, Mrs. Sharples?
Because if you were, we might get the idea that we're not welcome here. And if we did get that idea, you wouldn't be welcome at our house.
If that thing disturbs me in the vestry, I'm having the police in. And don't you get big-headed Jack Walker. I can soon find myself another pub.
Having a bit of all right.
Have you had enough then?
I couldn't swallow another bite, love.
Well, I'll just clear these things away.
Yeah, leave them.
What?
We'll do them together later.
Oh, don't be daft. You go and sit down over there and make yourself comfortable.
You all right, sure? Oh, that's good.
Didn't your last landlady feed you something?
Oh, it was all right if you happened to be a sea lion. You know, kippers for breakfast, boiled cod for lunch, sardines for supper. Oh, oh, oh,
You are a fool. You don't look so bad on it anyway.
You don't look so bad yourself, either.
Oh, it's all done by mirrors, she said.
You've had a rough time on it, haven't you?
Oh, I wouldn't say that, no, you know. Round of gaiety every night. You get a bit sick of all them cocktail parties.
Now, come off it. It hasn't been easy with Linda and Ivan and now Dennis in London. Poor Elsie.
What's the joke?
I was just thinking, living on your own has its advantages. At least we know we're not going to be disturbed, don't we?
Auntie Elsie?
Oh.
Are you in, Auntie?
Yes, I'm here, love.
I've come round for that suit to Concepta Sense money.
Oh, child, I've got it for you.
Hey, do you have a very big boat?
Well, I'm not actually in a ship at the moment, love.
No, but when you are, it's a big one, I mean. Are you the captain? And do they have a swimming pool and dancing every night?
I'm afraid it's no to all three, love.
Well, there's a girl at school, her dad's going on a cruise. She's swanking all over the shore then.
Well, won't your mother be wondering where you are?
No, it's all right. Can you swim? Have you ever been thrown overboard?
No.
Look, I think you better be getting off on because I don't want your mother to think that you've lost the money down the grid or something, see?
Yeah, OK. Hey, have you got a girl at every port? All right, I'm going.
Well, have you?
Girl at every port. What do you think?
Do you want to know what I think?
What?
I think I'm very glad you've come back, Bill Gregory.
Oh, hello, love. Is your mother in?
I'll see. Mother? No, she's not, but I do.
Well, I particularly wanted to speak to Mrs. Tanner.
Oh, did you, Mr. Smith?
She knows me.
A little bird told me. Come on inside.
Yes, did you see who went in there just now?
Dave Smith.
She's been gambling.
She's still gambling with him in there.
Elsie was not ashamed of being a woman. She wore her sexuality like a battle flag. She was very bold, she was very uncompromising, and she had great appetite for life. And she didn't see anything to be ashamed of in looking sexy.
Well, now, that depends what you mean by good, doesn't it?
Yes, I suppose it does.
Let's just say that it was all in your favour, shall we? Well, he's a great fan of yours, Walt, you know.
Is he?
Oh, great fan. Mind you, now I've had the pleasure for myself, so to speak, I can see what he means.
Well, before we forget what you came for, have you brought me winnings?
Oh, yeah. Well, Elsie?
It's hardly worth the journey, is it?
Well, as I said, that rather depends on you, doesn't it?
I'm not very good at riddles.
No riddles, dear. Just a straight deal.
Spare me, she said.
The money or a night out in the town with Dave Smith?
Don't waste much time, do you?
Oh, well, I can't afford to waste it, dear. Now, what's it going to be? The money or the best night out you've had in years?
You fancy yourself, don't you?
Yeah, well, if I don't, dear, nobody else is going to, are they?
You've got quite a point there, haven't you?
Mind you, tangle with me, you'll get nothing but trouble. I promise you one thing, though. You'll enjoy it.
Trouble never bothered me.
No, well, it kind of adds a spice to life, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, I suppose I better go and get ready, hadn't I?
Hey. You want me help?
Let's not rush things, shall we?
Look, Mum, if you just listen for a minute.
Shocked by my own son.
How do you expect me to know they were bailiffs? I only opened the door. Does he look like a
You
bailiff?
could have told by his eyes. And you be careful with that ash on that chair. It was recovered at Christmas.
Which Christmas? Mum, I know I let him in.
Let him in. You handed it to them on a button. When I think of the nights I stayed up with you, burping, you changing, you slaving for you. As soon as you're old enough, you turn around and drop me in.
Oh, well, if you won't listen.
I have sweated and slaved the best years of my
Hey,
life to
Nance,
make
we
it...
needed some new furniture any road. It's not very contemporary looking. It's... Oh, well, perhaps you're right.
Oh, Elsie, I couldn't remember if I told you, but you compare many times, and then they've got to stop all this nonsense, you know.
Thank you very much. I'll think on. I'm always grateful for any advice you can offer me. It was very helpful the last time, remember?
Yes, well, I just thought I'd stick me head in.
And you be careful with that chair. It's a family heirloom.
Right, looks it.
My son. Welcome home, Dennis.
We'll be all right, you and me, Mum. I'll get this room fixed up nice.
And what do you propose to do? Make me a three-piece suite out of a packet of cornflakes, do you?
Yeah, well, you see, the modern style of decor is not to have things looking too close.
Oh, it won't be that, I can tell you that. You'll be having your tea off the slop store off my bed upstairs, if I give you anything to eat.
Well, they can't take everything.
Can't they? Just stand there and watch them.
No, I suppose you're right. They can't get more than 30 bob for that lot they've taken out so far.
Dennis Tanner, do you know what I think?
No, what, Mum?
I think you've been in the boozer and met him and tipped you a couple of gob bob to let him in.
What, your own son?
My own flesh and blood.
I've never seen him before in my life. You can't take that.
You can, mate.
But I need that for my business, you see. It's my job, television and talent spotting, studying.
I'm afraid it's not classed as a tool of the trade, sir. We can take anything that's on the land.
Get over to the Rovers and get them newspapers on the job. If I'm going to be undrawn and quartered for the sake of the street, I want some photographs taken.
Can you be taking your club out that sideboard, missus?
Me clubber?
Guess we have to take it. We don't want to take your belongings, personal ones.
If you think that I'm bringing out all my things as won't wash and you've got another thing coming.
You'll have to get them out, missus. It won't embarrass me. I've lived, you know. I'm a married man.
Oh.
Open up, will you? Open the door, Elsie. Come on. Open up. Oh, look, come on, Elsie, please. Now, look, why don't you two ladies push off? Go on, go and do your shopping or something. Push off.
She's up at window, look. You can see her through curtains.
She's opening it. It's just like Romeo and Juliet, isn't it?
Well, what do you want?
Look, Elsie, I just want to chat.
I'm in no mood for little chats with you.
Oh, look, love, you know what I mean.
I know what you mean, all right. Coming round here, making my...
Now, look, Elsie, it's no good going on like this. Now, look, Elsie, please, just let me in. For old time's sake, eh?
For old time's sake,
yeah. Oh, that's my girl.
Here! Your presents! For old time's sake! Here! Take them!
Now, come on, Elsie, let me in, will you? You've had your balcony scene. Now, let me in so we can have a chat. Now, look, you kids, clear off. Go on, don't watch the telly. Go on, get away. And you.
After all this time, he ought to try the back door. She mightn't like talking in front of all of us.
Why not? She's been public property for years.
Now, come on, let me in, woman, will you?
Don't you woman me, Laurie Fraser.
Elsie, just let me in. I want to chat with you.
You've naught to say to me that could interest me. No, do you understand? I wouldn't even let you step foot in me coal hole.
Now, listen, Elsie, if you carry on like this, you're going to have the police round.
Oh, really? Are you afraid of watching your dirty washing in the street? I'm not. It's happened to me before, you know. And if the police do come round, it might as well lock down your club as well.
Now, look, let's just get the record straight.
Oh, no, you don't get your flashy clogs off my doorstep. Go on, get.
Elsie!
I don't care. Look at him. Just look at him. If you're going to spend money in his club, you better see what sort of creep you're spending your money on. You mind your own flaming business and keep out of this den.
Now, look, get her in here, will you? Shut her up or
Don't
something.
tell me what to do. You leave my family out of this.
Lady, do you mind after all? It is a private affair, like.
In a public street, look, if you want to do some hustling, go and hustle your pint-sized sponsors.
I'm not shifting out as much right in this street as you have, Dennis Tanner.
I'm with friends.
Look at him. Anybody care to take him on? Anybody? His wife doesn't care. Oh, he goes out with as long as she gets her pin money.
Now, look, I've stood as bad as much as I've done. I'm coming in.
Find some other street. You've got no followers here.
It's, all right, Mrs. Sharples. I'll pay for that.
That's very kind of you, Mrs. Tanner.
That's all right, Mrs. Sharples.
You know, I am glad you've patched it up, Mrs. Sharples. It would have been most unpleasant if Mrs. Tanner had actually ended up on the street.
Well, now, Mrs. Tanner might have known I wasn't serious until I give her a notice in writing.
Of course, that's absolutely right, Mrs. Sharples. I was only saying,
So
actually...
would you pass that over to her, please?
What's this, Mrs. Sharples?
Just pass it over to Mrs. Tanner, will you?
Mrs. Tanner, you...
What's this, Mrs. Sharples?
What do you think it is? A birthday card? It's your notice, official.
You what?
It's your notice. It says, take your hook out of my house, only it says it more polite than that. Shut on me. I don't care. You take on with me like that.
Hey, come on.
Jack, send for the police.
Never mind about police. Get a bucket of water. That all separates dogs.
No, it'll separate them two now, short of death.
Ina and Elsie were very similar, which was probably at the root of their friction. I think Elsie probably saw herself as Ina in some umpteen years in the future. Again, both very strong, both wouldn't tolerate fools gladly, both very, very outspoken.
Just a mean, sneaking, underhand way. She does everything.
There you are. There you are. Do you see her do that? That's provocation. You saw her start the physical side of this thing.
Physical side of you over that wall, you old bat, you bandy-legged old bat.
Bandy-legged me? Bandy-legged who you call bandy-legged?
Come along now, Innie. No, you haven't had your pills
Look,
today.
I can go 15 rounds with this cowboy on a glass of milk stout.
No, come on, Mrs. Sharples. It's beneath you, this sort of
Oh,
thing.
is it beneath her, is it? I suppose it's not beneath me. I suppose that's the sort of thing I do, is it?
Oh, I never open my
If
mouth.
she chucked you out of your house, she'd be screaming round here from here till Christmas, so you shut up!
Listen, I'm an old age pensioner. I live on £3 a week. There's 20 quid a week going into that house. If your son wasn't like you, he'd have bought your house long ago. It's as big a spit as his father and that same summer.
Don't you dare bring money into this, Mrs. Sharples.
You've never gone short.
Listen to me. I've kept that house together with work and sweat. I've worked, I've been mother, father, son, everything. I've looked after my son for the last 15 years.
Oh, yes, you've got to give her that, Mrs. Sharples. And it's not easy, you know, when there's no man in the house.
She's never been short a man in their house since Arnold took his up. Any more than Fanny Hill.
Get back up to your mission, Mrs. Sharples, as fast as you can before I really get me rag out.
Oh, bang the one else to get your boots in. Oh, so that's what you're going to do, is it? You're ganging up on us, or you? If they start anything behind my back, get them.
Oh, Ina, what do you mean, get them?
I see you, Mrs. Sharples, inciting your mate. She's not strong enough to tackle anything.
I can take you on, you Mary Ann.
Yes. But her mates down this street are not above lobbing half a brick in the back of my neck while I'm engaged in conversation.
Look, Mrs. Sharples, it's me and nobody's army.
I've handled Tanners before, Mrs. Tanner, and I'll handle you again.
You try turning me out of my house, Mrs. Sharples. Just you try turning me out, and I'll come back alone.
Come back.
You'll hear me all morning down the stairs, up the staircase. You won't get a bit of sleep, Dennis.
Mum, your sprouts are burning.
Come in here, Dennis.
Great big mad Mary. I'll take you on my left hand if she starts anything.
You needn't worry, Mrs. Sharples. I never raise my hand in anger to a lady.
She's done it on me, Dennis. She's done it.
Under control, ma'am.
She's done it on me. Look, come here. Look, I came into this house when I was first married. I had naught but a bed settee and a sideboard. Both my kids were born here. Call that in money terms if you can.
Oh, shut up, you daft clown.
Listen, Flypants, I don't need to do this, but if you're curious about my motives, then there's no reason why you shouldn't know. I wouldn't be doing this on you.
I didn't realise how much I'd missed on me.
Yes, and where am I supposed to keep them? The dustbins down on the cross?
I've got some good suggestions.
What are the brick pins on the heath there with a bottle of Mets?
It's not so much you're chucking me at, it's the nasty, sneaking, sly way you did it. You've been waiting for this day for the last 70 years, haven't you, Mrs. Sharp?
She's chucking me out of my vestries, chucked me out.
Well, what do you expect me to do, cry for you?
Put your money where your mouth is, then. Go on.
I'd rather put my beer where my mouth
You'll
is.
have to move over. You'll have to move out.
If you want to move me out of that house, you'll move me in a 6-foot box.
Yes, and I'll do that and all.
Hey, well, wouldn't it be an idea if you moved in together?
You what?
Well, it were only a thought.
Mr. Swindley, I'm sure these gloves would move faster if we could keep them under 7 shillings, even a penny under.
Button your coat, student.
Beg your pardon?
We go to bring the good news from Ghent to A.
Eh?
Never mind, Miss Nugent. I do sometimes permit myself a literary flight under moments of stress.
What is it, Mr. Swindley? You've gone very sallow.
Come along, Miss Nugent. I'll explain on the way.
You two-faced old bats!
You'll stay here until we've sorted this thing out one way or the other.
Get off me sleeve. I've already sorted
You
it out
are
in my
not holding
mind.
me up to this sort of thing and then sweeping out on me.
Now, look here. You'll only move me out of this house when I want to go. In the meantime, go jump in the cot. You... My way!
Go on, Dr. Death.
Put me down!
Mrs. Sharples, you're too old for this sort of thing. Anyway, your flight's academic. The mission isn't going to close. Do you hear? You can stay in your vestry.
You what?
The committee has decided to close Bow Street mission. We shall have 20 more souls to look after next Sunday. You won't need Mrs. Tanner's house.
Won't I?
No, you won't.
Well, we'll see. Well, that's you see sense anyway. Now, look, you'll pay for this afternoon. I may not want your mangy house, but I'm still your landlord and I've still got the upper hand. What has happened this afternoon's not been no help to you at all.
You're still my landlord, are you?
Oh, yes, I am that.
Well, you'll pay for that window.
That was her first big mistake.
You're on that, Tim Bob. The big one to take her in round 2.
You never made that phone call.
I often get home late. I don't get the wrong idea. It's just that I don't seem to do anything very much but work these days.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Do you work? Yes, of course, you told me. I wish my wife did. You know, she seems to get so depressed hanging around the house all day. She never used to mind, but nowadays, with the kids growing up, well, she needs an interest.
I don't do it just for interest.
No, of course not. You know, it's a pity that some women in my, well...
Class?
No, I didn't mean that.
Oh, yes, you did. You know you did. Look, I've been honest with you. I haven't tried to kid you where I come from. Not much, anyway. And there wouldn't be much point. Must stick out a mile.
You're a very attractive woman.
And you're a very sweet fella. Look, you've got a nice car, and probably a nice house, and a housewife, and nice kids. What's your problem?
I don't know, really. One thing, I just seem not able to grow old gracefully. Or does that just apply to women?
It applies.
I'm 50. I suppose at 40, some chaps are still looking around. Still getting the urge anyway. But at 50... You know, talking to you back there, I started to go off at a tangent. I started to think of another kind of life I nearly had years ago. I started to kid myself it wasn't too late. At 50. It's ridiculous.
Well, we can all dream, can't we?
I'm getting a bit too old and tired for dreaming.
You're lucky. I haven't even started to tire yet. I still keep kidding myself.
That's the point, so do I.
You stay as you are, Bob. You've got everything.
Have I? I only wish I could see it through your eyes, so I could think that way too. But we never can we?
Perhaps it's just as well under the circumstances.
Why?
Well, I haven't got everything. In fact, No, you won't understand. You know, sometimes when I'm talking to our Dennis, joking like, I say, you know, you're all I've got in the world. You know something? It's not so damn far from the truth.
I'm not going too fast for you, am I?
No. I like fast driving, especially at night. Oh, cozy in here, with all that dark outside.
I don't agree with you about Bill Gregory, Linda. I don't agree he was the man who might have transformed Elsie's life. Len. He was the one.
Len Fairclough? That must have been the longest on-off romance in history. It was on and off more times than a light switch.
Yes.
No, they were too much alike. Too quick-tempered. They both wore their hearts on their sleeves.
But they kept going back to each other, didn't they? They usually turned to each other when they were in trouble. Len was devoted to your mother.
Oh, yeah. He loved her.
I'm coming. All right. Elsie, what are you doing here?
Can you come in?
Yeah, come on, come on. What's all this then?
All right. It was terrible. It was terrible.
What's the matter? You're trembling like a leaf. What's up with you?
It just seemed to collapse and never went all over the place and he stopped breathing. What shall I do?
Sit down.
I don't want to sit down.
Sit down. That's the first thing you're going to do. Second thing you're going to do is keep your voice down. Otherwise, we'll have Jerry Booth down here wondering what all the row's about. And thirdly, get that down.
I don't want to.
Get it down. Yeah, get it down. Go slowly. Tell me what it's all about.
I told you.
No. Take it gently. From the beginning now. Come on, tell me what it's all about.
Well, I went out to that place for a drink that Annie and Jack told us about.
To the Fox and Hound, yeah, go on.
And I met this fella, Bob Maxwell.
Yeah, go on.
Well, we just chatted for a bit and had a drink, and then I was going to go, and he offered me a lift home.
All right.
No, it's not what you think. It was just a lift home. Only we never got home. We crashed the car.
Oh, God.
We were just driving along, and all of a sudden it gave a little moan, and it seemed to collapse over the wheel. I couldn't do anything. The car went all over the place, and we crashed. And now he's dead.
He's what?
He's dead.
No.
Yes.
You sure?
Oh, he's dead, all right. I kept wishing it was all a bad dream, and I'd wake up and find myself at home in my own bed. But I wasn't.
What did the police say?
I never told them.
You what?
I just got up and ran away.
You just got up and left it?
Yeah.
Well, you're a right bloody fool, aren't you?
He's a married man.
Of course he was. They all were there.
Len, listen, what else could I do? He had about 2 minutes to make up my mind what to do. I couldn't bring him back to life, but at least I could save his wife and family from any suffering.
What do you mean?
Look, supposing I had gone to the police, what do you think they'd have said? Me, a divorced woman and him a married man. What do you think they'd have thought? I'll tell you what they'd have thought. What you're thinking now, the worst.
Maybe you're right, dear.
And if I'm right,
But you just went away and left him, just like that.
what else could I do? I managed to get to the main road, and I got on an all-night bus.
Elsie, look, are you all right? You're not hurt, are you?
I'm all right. I just banged me out of it and bruised my shoulder when the car crashed. I'm okay. Len, do you think they'll find him?
Bound to eventually.
Seems so rotten leaving him there. All alone like that. Funny. A few hours ago I was laughing and talking, and now he's dead.
Elsie, darling, don't think about it. Don't worry. Come on.
Where?
I'm taking you home. A good night's kip will do you the world of good. It's 3:45.
Okay.
You'll dog them.
But why should she tell you? Then are you sure she doesn't know anything?
Of course she doesn't know anything. You know what a blabbermouth she is. She just blurted it out. The police have been on to Mr. and Mrs. Walker, then going around with a face like a funeral looking for Mrs. Walker. And she'll dine out on this, you know, for the next 24 hours, she will.
Too much of a coincidence.
What do you mean a coincidence?
Well, if you must know, I told that barmaid at the Fox and Hours Annie Walker recommended it.
Oh, I thought you might. Why didn't you tell me?
Because I forgot.
It's all right, so you told her. How many people does she talk to overnight? How many people does Emma Ogden talk to overnight? Now, forget it. It's just a routine check.
If you think it's a routine check, why did you bother coming out here and tell me the police were around?
I'm beginning to regret I ever did. Look, you can forget about the whole thing. You can take my word for that.
Yeah, I've taken your word for things before.
What's that supposed
Oh,
to be?
shut up, lad, and let me think.
You mind saying that again?
Shut up, will you?
Elsie, where was he sitting when you left him?
What do you mean, where was he sitting?
On the front seat or the back?
He was... You louse. You filthy little louse.
Oh, we're beginning to learn things now, aren't we? Go on.
How dare you say such a thing to me?
I know I'm just the errand boy, but come on, let's have a ball, shall we?
Stupid, Len.
Stupid? That's exactly what I am, isn't it? Stupid, running around like with a scalded cock I was after you. Doing everything for you, all the big favour. Who the hell do you think you are, Elsie Tanner?
Let me go.
Some shining fairy on a Christmas tree. Just have a look.
Let me go.
Have a ruddy good look.
Let me go, you're hurting me.
Look at that in there. Have a good look. You call me a louse? What the hell do you think you are? You're nothing. You're just nothing.
need you to tell me what I am then, Fairclough.
I know, because if I did, you'd stick your head in a gas oven.
Maybe I do kid myself. Maybe I kid myself because I don't want to stick my head in a gas oven.
You can't say two honest words together. You can't look me in the eye and say two honest words together. Because you're nothing. You feel nothing. You're just paint and mush, Elsie Tanner. Well, go and call it me again. I'm a louse, am I? Well, I don't kid myself, you know. But I could crawl through a sewer when I think that I asked you to marry me once. You! Bringing up my kid! Oh, that's great, that is. You don't need to tell me what you think of me, because if you remember, you turned me down.
There were reasons.
Yeah, I know what the reasons were and all. And every time you go out touting for a big blonde sailor or a fella in a pinstripe suit, you turn the knife in my back.
So now we know.
Yeah. Yeah, now we know.
I had to go to someone. Len, you were the only one I could tell. I don't even know how I'm going to tell our Dennis yet.
You're not worried about shocking him after all these years, the way you've dragged him up, have you?
You've said enough, Len.
All right, throw me out then.
If you feel like that, why don't you go?
Because I fancy you.
Oh, charming. After all that.
I don't kid myself, you know.
A year later, in 1966, Julie Goodyear made her first appearance as Bet Lynch, but behind the scenes, her first meeting with Miss Phoenix didn't go as well as she hoped.
Let's go back to 1966 when you first got the part of Bet Lynch.
Yeah.
Your first day, you made a bit of an entrance because you parked in a place, with hindsight, you probably shouldn't have done. Do you remember? When you arrived in a lorry with a cement mixer on the back.
Oh, you see, it's the glamour. It's all right, you bloody laughing.
And you parked bumper to bumper with
Don't,
Pat
don't,
Phoenix's
no,
vintage
don't,
Rolls Royce.
Please, no.
So there's your great big grubby cement
don't.
mixer.
I was waiting at the bus stop, and one of my dad's mates pulled up and said, and he was, you know, the concrete mixer on the back and this, that. And he said, do you want a lift? So I got in, straight to the front door, and pulled up bumper to bumper with Miss Phoenix in a vintage Rolls Royce. And I had to get out backwards. Short skirt, the lot.
And she was the biggest star of the show, right?
Oh, God. And she said through the side of her mouth, don't you ever try to upstage me again. I didn't even know what upstage meant. I said, I won't, Miss Phoenix. I won't.
Tell me you're surprised, Mrs. Tanner. I told you I'd come.
It was you. Of all the people, of all... But not you.
I didn't expect you would. Why should you? There must be hundreds of other women with as much cause to do what I did.
Now look, Mrs. Maxwell. I'm trying as hard as I know how to control my temper. For heaven knows if I lose it, I don't know what'll happen. So shall we just sit down and talk like sensible people?
How many other have there been, Mrs. Tanner? How many other marriages have you wrecked?
I told you. I told the court. I never met your husband before that night. Oh, look, I'm sorry as anybody for what happened. But it wasn't my fault. Now, the court understood that. Now, why can't you?
Then I expect some of their husbands went back to them in the end. You're not the kind men stay with.
Now, don't push me too far, Mrs.
But my George won't come back to me, will he?
Look, he could have been with anybody that night he had the heart attack. Anybody. But it happened to be my rotten luck. It was me. But it still doesn't make it my fault.
Scum! That's what you are. Filthy, rotten scum! I've got nothing left now. Nothing at all without George. He was all I had my whole life. And a tramp like you took him away from me.
Right, madam, that's it.
Let's help these past few weeks making those phone calls, telling you what you are, the only thing. Oh no. You don't think it ends there, do you? It doesn't stop as easily as that. George, my dear, you watch it. She's frightened, that George. George hates you too. He didn't want to die, he loved me. Get away from that, George.
In the old days, they knew what to do to women like you. Oh, yes. They used to take adulteresses and stone them to death.
Look, I tell you what to do. Why don't you just go home and lie down? It's just that you're upset, and get the doctor in. I know I got the doctor when I wasn't. It's all in the Bible, you know. Look, why don't you let me nip across to the thumb? It's quite explicit. It won't take a minute. I'll just...
for a line,
because
it
won't take a...
You killed me!
That's enough of that!
Stop me,
Come on, sit down.
She's got to be punished.
Down! We might have known, mightn't we? Should have guessed. What? Dennis, go get the coppers on the floor.
No, you can't.
It's the best thing in the long run. That's broken.
Mama, are you okay? It's come up in the world, hasn't it?
Haven't we all?
You know, I think... Wasn't there a pin table and a dartboard over there?
Yes.
Yeah, there was a Hawaiian girl on the pin table, I remember that.
That's it. And Paul Minetti and Vince, they decided that they were going to tip it upside down. It said, do not tip. And they lifted it up in the air, and all the little lights went on. They scored about 1,200.
Yeah, I remember that. And the funny thing is, I couldn't remember the name of this place, and yet you did. How come?
Darling, I itched enough lifts from that roundabout outside home. Well, I couldn't fail to remember it.
It's quiet, though, isn't it?
Good.
Look, I'll go and see if we can get something to eat. You hungry?
Very.
I won't be long. Hey, Frank, they're all out of bourbon. What do they have?
Make it gin. Hi. My name's Frank Capolino. They call me Billy the Kid.
Poor thing.
I understand your name's Elsie Tanner, is that right?
That's right.
I'd like to meet my buddy, Steve Tanner. We're in the same outfit out Burton Wood.
Yeah, Frank had the idea I might be your long-lost brother from Boston.
My brother works in the cable works in Collier's. And my mother has tried to lose him a few times.
Yeah, besides, we don't look a bit alike now, do we, Frank?
She's got your eyes, Steve. Look at those eyes.
How'd you ever pass your medical, son? You're colorblind. Anyway, would you care to dance, Elsie?
Yes. Yes, I would.
Hey, I'm back. Feels like I've come home. Or does that sound too sentimental?
To me?
Sit down.
Sure. Oh, I've got half the forest on my heels.
Feeling cold? Here.
Oh, I just thought that thing would still be in the land of the living. Oh, that taste takes me back. You know, Ireland would do anything to keep me away from American whiskey. She said it made me maudlin.
Yeah.
You know, you won't believe it, but that stuff tastes of the wall. One swig and I'm full of air raid shelters and waving out a carriage windows at Warrington Station.
I'll see you under the clock at Central.
Oh, I couldn't even look at that clock when I got back from seeing you off at Liverpool. Oh, them docks.
You know, I think I like you better as a redhead.
I never waved you off blonde.
Oh, I think you did.
I know I didn't. I only went red for you. Just because you stopped holding me hand in the middle of the Rita Hayworth picture. You suddenly dropped it, and all through the curry afterwards it was Rita, Rita, Rita. I did it myself, and it went very, very wrong. I remember I had to rush out with a towel around my head and plead with the hairdresser on a Sunday morning. £1 it cost me. And I bought a jade green dress to go with it. I'd got no coupons, so I had to get it on the black market. Shifty little man brought it round to our back door.
I'd forgotten all about that.
And to think I risked prison for a man with no memory.
I remember a lot of things.
You know, I often wonder if people can change. If you can stop your heart from feeling like an old boot. If you can stop from feeling as if life's rubbed over you like an old donkey still.
Why do you dislike yourself so much?
You ought to see me from where I'm standing.
No, but this is exactly what I'm talking about. You keep running yourself down.
Well, it's my privilege. I'm just facing facts.
Well,
that's
look,
all.
will you stop it because it's getting to be annoying?
Annoying, oh, really?
Yeah, this constant...
Constant what, Steve?
Saying that you're not good enough, that you're
all
old.
right. Look, it's just hysteria, that's all. Most fellas would be flattered.
Well, I'm not. It's a drag, so cut it out.
Oh, orders. I'm sorry I spoke.
Good. Now maybe I can say something.
You have been saying something for
Will
us.
you marry me? Because I love you.
Do you? That'd be nice.
Will you?
Yes. Hello?
Are you radiant yet?
Just working up to it, love.
You're not even rotten ready.
Dennis, love.
2 hours before your wedlock and you sat there presenting the truth to the free peoples of the world.
It was a wicked fairy that turned you into a handsome prince. You are a frog. So now, go and up it.
She's gone hysterical, you know, and she was warned. No excitement and a woolly vest under her bra at all times.
Who are you talking to?
A maid of honour.
Them are tarts, and if you answer that'll ruin your chances.
Oh, Dennis, go and comb your shoes or something, will
I
you?
shall return for a radiance report.
For what report? Honestly, Doc, that lad's so mushy, he's like a squashy moran. He thought The Sound of Music was a documentary. And if I might say so, Mrs. Greenhalgh, that outfit looks very nice. And it's gone 12 o'clock and I'm not going to be ready and I'm still sitting here.
Of course you are.
I got up at 6 and I'm still sitting here, aren't I?
Did you get any sleep?
No.
Had any food?
No.
I'll soon fix that.
Oh, no.
Just a bit of toast.
Look, I couldn't, Doc.
You could. Hey, your hair looks fabulous, kid. I'll put them strands up in a minute.
Not my head, I'm worried about it's my legs.
Not your veins.
No, I just don't think they're going to be able to hold me up to get ready. I think it's a message from my brain.
The collywobbles, love. Everybody gets them.
Oh, Dot, I'm glad you're here.
Aye.
Oh, what's up with you?
I think my legs have gone funny now and all.
Oh, it's our Linda.
Tea and toast all round it. Hello, Linda. Hey, you look fabulous. How's me mum? Calm as a jumping bean. Hello, me favourite mum.
Oh, hello, Dot. I've missed you.
No, I'm not worth it.
Oh, let's have a proper look. Mini skirts,
Yeah,
eh?
same height as our Paul. As soon as he grows an inch, I shorten them to make me feel young.
Well, I'll tell you something. By the time he's 12, there'll be Alice Bowdens. How is my grandson?
Oh, he's fine.
Have you brought him with you?
No, it wouldn't be fair. I came to help you.
Oh, is Ivan downstairs?
Yeah. In a few hours, you'll have been and gone and done it, won't you?
See, what you do is you stand at the back of the church, and when the mourners start coming in, you ask them which supporters club they belong to. You know, bride or groom.
I mean, at this staff side on the left.
You are?
At this staff side. You know, Elsie's supporters.
Oh, why? That's right. Series on the left, uniforms on the right. And don't ask any Americans where they were before 1942.
Who's that on the phone?
Steve.
Oh, what's the matter? What's wrong? What did
He wanted to know if you were all right, if the arrangements were all right, and as far as I could make out, if you were all right.
Oh, well, I could have had a word with him, couldn't I?
It's bad luck.
Not on the phone.
On the phone? Thou shalt not be blessed with 100 sons, and the fairies will gobble up your tax rebate and Ivan's an usher.
Oh, bully for you, kid.
Oh, well, Ivan'll never get there in time, will he? Hello, love. Where's his carnation?
In the kitchen.
Whereabouts?
Window ledge.
Right.
Well,
Len'll run him up.
oh, you've never asked Len.
Why not?
Oh, Dennis, for heaven's sake.
I'll take a pass.
You'll never get there in time, love. How much is a taxi?
To Warrington?
That is where some of us are going.
£2, anybody's money.
Right, yours.
Hey?
I gave you £5 yesterday.
Oh, this was collateral against emergencies.
Yes, well, not getting the ushers till 2 hours before the wedding qualifies.
Hey, if there's any change, I'd be grateful. Them carnations don't grow on trees, you know.
Well, that's going to rock the gardening world. Pins in the jar, man.
Yes, they are, love. Now then, let's see, what else? Have you checked the cars?
You know what time they're coming? 2:15.
Have you checked?
So many times they've asked me if I want to join the pension scheme. Now, will you go and get ready?
I'm going, and it's about time you started and all.
Hey?
To get ready.
I am ready.
You are not.
I am?
Dennis, I am not going to be given away by somebody in a black jumper and a Union Jack.
A roll-neck sweater. Every fibre a man-made miracle.
It is very nice for a loving in Albert Square, but today is different. Your mummy is getting married.
Well, this is what they were in. Take a shufty at Lord Snowdon.
He can do as he pleases. He can roller skate to Buckingham Palace in a bikini if he wishes to, but if he wants to come to my wedding, he'll wear a shirt and tie like anybody else. And if you see him between now and 3 o'clock, you can tell him so. Oh, come on, love. I've got the energy of despair. You know, it was less trouble when he had the paper round. And Dennis, please put a white shirt on, please. Come on.
Just like trade unions, really, you know. Huh? Women. The art is making them feel as though they have won.
No. The art is to make you feel that you've made them feel as though they have won.
And then again, on the reverse side of the coin. Where's me shirt?
It's a lively house of the Lord, Ina.
Bit too high for my taste. High church, I mean, not high ceiling.
It's a Methodist.
Oh, well, they're not above a bit of ritual, isn't Methodism. Do you think of back Domingo Street? That's an out, if you like, and they're primitive.
They was referred to the chairman of the district, you know. The happy couple, because of Mrs. Tanner's first Mr. Tanner.
Yes, I know. They got a right grilling before they got permission. They should have let their Dennis marry him on his barge.
There's quite a few people in already, Ina.
Yes, and not a single soul groaning for redemption. My God, they could open a pagan temple with this lot. It hasn't even started yet.
I can't help it, Ina.
Oh, when you don't get dehydrated.
What do you think Mrs. Tanner will be wearing?
Black crepe.
Oh, Ina, she's getting married.
Yes, I know. Again. That organ wants to play the March of the Gladiators when she comes in and the March of Time when she goes out.
Yes. Yes, they're here.
You're ready, Elsie?
Just a sec. Right. All right, Dennis. Linda?
Now?
My God.
Yeah. Goes in.
Elsie.
You want to talk to me?
Yes.
No.
Listen.
I said no.
And I said yes.
Well, you want to talk. What about?
Oh, for God's sake.
Go on.
No, not yet.
It's been a long, long night.
What has?
These last few weeks. Look, I'm past lectures from you or from anybody else, so do us both a favour and go on now.
You honestly think I would?
I didn't send for you.
What am I supposed to do? Wait till I'm asked?
I don't know. It makes no odds.
Look, let's just sit down and you tell me all about it, okay?
What about it? America? You should go there, Len. You really should. They got a flag with 49 stars on it, and all the little kids look like old men.
Elsie.
Well?
You. What's happened to you?
Me? What about me? I'm fine. I'm grand. How's yourself?
I'm not for stumping you, you know.
Why don't you? Might be an improvement.
You do know what you look like, don't you?
Got a good idea.
Well, come and have a look, then. Come and have a look. That's you in there.
If you say so.
It's your birthday today, Elsie Tanner.
Happy birthday to me.
You look 101, not...
Not what?
21.
Thanks.
Come on, love, this is me. Me, darling, remember? You can talk to me. Auntie Agatha?
Too late, then. Don't tell me it's never too late. I've heard that before. I've heard it all.
I don't want to tell you anything. I want you to tell me.
Tell you what?
The truth.
Oh, the truth? Is that all?
About why you came back. About why you're conducting yourself like
a raving nutcase.
Yeah.
Maybe I am. I suppose I must be.
I'm waiting.
Oh, are you? Well, supposing I tell you it's none of your business. Supposing I tell you to clear off out of
All right,
here.
then go on, say it.
It was all my fault.
What was?
I've left Steve.
I see.
You don't sound exactly astonished.
I'm not. Well?
Well, what? You asked for the truth. I told you now. Clear up out of here.
No. You're not yet.
What do you want? Blood? Look, I made a muck of it. I didn't fall. I wasn't pushed. I jumped.
So your marriage has gone bust and you think it's all your fault?
I said so, didn't I?
All right, tell me more.
There's nothing to tell.
Let's just start at the beginning, shall we? Tell me exactly what happened when you first got out there.
Exactly what everybody said would happen. I didn't fit in. I didn't understand them, and I didn't try to. I was homesick, and I didn't bother to hide it. I was an all-round pain in the neck.
I'm not arguing you're a pain in the neck, but you're also a flaming liar.
Is that what you kicked my door down to tell me?
Now, let's start again, shall we? And this time, the truth.
It's a rotten, stinking mess.
That's right, it is, and you've got to work yourself out of it.
I'll survive. I usually do.
Oh, well, see, this isn't some sort of tiff between you and Doc Greenhalgh at the shop. This is the lousiest thing that could ever happen to anyone.
You think I don't know that?
All right, for heaven's sake, stop hiding behind it in some dark corner. It's here, it's happened, it's all here in front of you. So let's talk about it sanely.
Sanely?
Yes.
Do you think I'm ill? Do you think I'm off a rocker or something?
I think you could be it in that way.
Well, thanks.
Going over and over it in your mind like that. Chasing it round and round like you're blaming yourself.
It was me.
So you said.
Steve was a good man.
One of the best.
I was lucky to marry him. Shop soiled and people like me don't marry people like him, except in boxing.
Oh, yes, he could have married anyone.
He could. His mother told me when she was over last time. She said he was the most eligible bachelor.
That's right, he had everything. Money, looks, good family, brains.
Yes.
So the stupid Burke has to marry some grotty old has-been from the wrong side of the tracks.
What did you say?
Well, didn't he?
Get out!
What, Mr. Superman? And that? Well, I ask you.
I hate you!
Go on then, hate me. Do what the hell you like.
No, I don't. I hate him.
Oh, no, you can't. You've just said yourself he's perfect.
Stop it.
He's thoughtful and kind, loving and considerate. He is the perfect husband.
No!
No?
Steve Tanner is...
Go on.
I can't.
Say it.
He's a swine.
Oh, that's better. Now then. Tell me.
Do you remember before I went away, I asked you that if I was your wife and I'd lied to you, what you'd do?
I think I said I'd give you a rollicking, or thump you, or both. And I still would.
And I said Steve wasn't like that. It was all inside himself. Cold. Like he was made of ice.
You mean that time you went away for a few days and stayed with your Linda?
You see, when we came back, I thought I'd made it up with him. I thought I understood him better.
And you didn't?
When I got out there, it was worse. Much worse. Worse than it had ever been here. And I hadn't got Linda to run to. Or you. Or even our Dennis.
Go on, Dana.
See, Steve was almost a stranger there himself. He'd not been back for years. Now, I thought it'd sort of bring us together. I thought if we were going to have any problems, it was going to be us and them. And it turned out it was me and them.
And you still think it was all your fault?
5 minutes back and he was all part of it. Like he'd never been away. It was like a wall came down. And I was on the outside, looking in.
I asked you a question.
It's like we were strangers. Oh, nothing dramatic like you read in the Sunday papers. Not the husband having it off with the secretary, or the wife having it away with the insurance. But I'm sorry.
That's all right, love. It's all history now, isn't it?
Still, what you're saying, it still makes sense, you know. But when Nellie ran away with Harry Bailey, that was the end of our problem, not the beginning. That was only the cherry on the top.
The things they did, I didn't know about. The boating, the bridging, golfing. I could have learned then. Steve was impatient. He wouldn't wait for me to catch up, if you know what I mean.
I can gather.
No. No, it wasn't all my fault. The books he read, I couldn't understand. The music he listened to that I didn't know about. But it needn't have mattered, Len. We used to sit there, night after night, and he'd say nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing. And I'd say to him, Steve, talk to me. You know what he'd say? What about? I was his wife, Len. And he didn't know what to talk to me about. What was worse, I didn't know what to talk to him about either. I'd sit there thinking and thinking. But there was nothing to say.
What about his mother? She didn't seem so bad.
She was all right. I wasn't married to her, was I? I was married to her son.
And what happened then?
Oh, it was fine when we first got out there. One round of welcome home parties and clam chowders and dry martinis, and then I stopped being such a novelty. And Steve started stopping at the base more and more.
Pressure of work?
I thought so. Until he started stopping all nights out too.
Women?
I don't know. Booze, women, cars. I never knew.
Didn't you ask him?
You can't ask Steve, Len. I told you. Look, if I'd have been your wife, I'd have been standing at the top of the stairs with a rolling pin in my hand.
I bet you were, no.
You can't ask Steve. He's different. If he doesn't want to answer you, he won't.
Who the hell does he think he is, God?
No. No, it wasn't all his fault either. It was mine too. You see, I knew I shouldn't have married him. I saw the danger signals, and I closed my eyes.
Elsie, I know I'm the last person that you'll be saying this, but do you really think you gave it a fair try?
What do you mean?
Well, running away like that. I mean, you weren't out there for all that long, were you? I think if you'd have stayed out there a bit longer, it might have got better.
Got better? With me on my own?
On your own?
The week before I came back home, Steve was posted to South America.
Why didn't you go with him?
Because my husband didn't want me to go.
Are you sure?
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure of something else and all. He needn't have gone.
Eh?
He volunteered.
I see.
I asked him not to. I said I was willing to try again. I told...
What?
It seems ridiculous. Two middle-aged people and we couldn't live together. I suppose lovers was too much to ask, but I'd have settled for friends.
And he wouldn't.
He said he wanted to go to South America, and that was that. He said he'd done what he wanted for so long, it was too late to change now.
Selfish bastard.
It was then I asked him if he was sorry he'd married me.
And what did he say to that?
He said his first mistake was leaving me 20 years ago. His second was
coming back to me. So it cleared off, and I have flogged my engagement ring and my bits and pieces, and I packed my bag. I bought myself a ticket, and here I am, a grotty old has-been, back in my own midden. End of story.
Is it?
Go! Len! Len, I wish to God I knew.
Ray Langton's looking for you.
Is he?
Says you're in a mood. You practice getting in these moods, Lem. Seem to have more of them than anybody else.
It won't work, you know.
What won't work?
Thinking that you don't know why I'm here.
I don't know why you're here.
Janet has given me up.
I'm sorry.
And she's given me up because you got at her.
Got at her? What are you talking about?
You wanted off me. And don't try to deny it. We were getting on like a house on fire, you know, until you put your big boot in.
I didn't warn her off you. All I did was give her a little advice which she asked for.
A little advice about what?
I told her that she couldn't keep you waiting like this, and she had to make her up your own mind to be fair to her.
Fair to her? That's very good. And what did you put in her mind, then?
She didn't want to marry you. She had no intentions of marrying you.
I don't believe that.
You can believe what you like. I just wanted to tell you that you didn't have a chance.
I don't believe it.
Oh, well...
What I do believe is the fact that you couldn't bear to see me married to anybody else, could you? To bear to see me happy. Do you know what you are?
Go on. Tell me. It might make you feel better.
I'll do better than that.
Have I gone too far? Ken says it's better to look a bit off.
As if you could.
Yeah, it's getting easier every year. Well, come on, kids, let's go.
What's the matter? Elsie, are you all right?
I just felt a bit woozy. You do when you're dead scared.
Well, let's phone him up and tell him you don't feel well. She's got to face it sometime, Dot.
Got to face it sometimes. How many times in my life have I heard those rotten words? Got to face it sometime. Why should I face it? I've done nothing, have I? Have I?
No, love.
And the last thing I want to be is a public peep show all over again.
I understand how you feel, Elsie, but everything's going to be all right.
Will it,
honest.
Sheila? Will it?
Of course it will.
I'm sorry. I let my face slip a bit, didn't I? Well, come on, let's go.
Elsie? What? I'd like to talk to you.
Oh, I'm half an hour late already.
In private.
Won't it wait?
It's important. Oh, I'll meet you outside corner shop. I want to get something to suck in court anyway. Keep me nerves steady.
Look, I'm not going to be in very good books if I'm half an hour late to start with, am I?
I've got something to say to you.
Well, say it then.
About them dresses.
What about the dresses?
It were me. I stole them.
You what?
I deliberately put them into that brown paper bag. I intended to take them out first chance I got.
I don't believe it.
It's true. I was going to take them out that day, and then I got that splitting headache. And so I went home
and so you let me do your dirty work for you.
But I never dreamt you'd get caught. Honestly, I never dreamt.
But I did, didn't I? And I got put in police hands in, and half an hour from now I'll be standing up in court and they'll be calling me a thief.
But I thought you'd walk straight out at shop with
Yes,
them.
like you've done lots of times before. How many dresses have you got stacked away at home that you haven't paid for?
This is the first time.
And pigs can't
Honestly,
fly.
Elsie, it's the truth. I don't know why I did it. That time it must have been with Walter leaving me. I must have been sick or something. I just popped them into the bag on the spur of the moment.
You didn't ring me on the spur of the moment. That took some thinking about, lady.
I never dreamt I'd get you into trouble.
Yes, but you did, didn't you? So what are you going to do to get me out of it, like today?
If they find out it's me, they'll send me to prison.
Very likely.
But you could get away with it if they thought you'd made a mistake.
What do you think I've been praying for? 16 rotten nights without sleep.
But you see, it isn't a question of what I'm going to do, is it?
What?
It's a question of what you're going to do. Are you going to shop me?
Well, you're a fine pair of mates, starting without me.
Plenty to go around.
You were hitting it off rather well with Elsie Tanner when I called round there earlier.
Old friends.
Oh. Yeah, matter of fact, I'm taking you out tonight.
I don't think you two realise it, but in the blue corner we have Alan Howard. In the red corner, William Gregory.
What are you talking about?
You're both after Elsie Tanner.
So you're going, are you?
Yes, I'm going. That's why I've called for the luggage straps.
Oh, yes, I should have returned them when I come back from New York.
That's all right.
I'll root them out and bring them round. By heck, there's no knowing how much of other folks' stuff I'll find when I go through them drawers.
Thanks.
What's something else?
Mrs. Sharples, do you think I'm doing the right thing?
The first time you asked for my advice, last you were about 6, I'd given you a penny for going an errand, and you didn't know whether to buy a Kaylie sucker or a lucky bag. You bought the lucky bag in spite of the fact I told you it was a lot of rubbish.
And that's what you think I'm doing? Going off a bill is a load of rubbish.
Neil, as I'm saying now to sort, you'll go your own road regardless.
But I'm asking you.
People that ask for advice don't really want it. It's because they're not sure, and it's always very nice to be able to blame the person that's supposed to have given the advice if things go wrong.
You think I'm not sure, do you?
I'm sure you're not sure.
But he's not been near, hasn't Alan? He's not been near me at all.
Why? Would it have made any difference?
Oh, I don't know. Probably not, but he could have called just to say goodbye. He could have called. I mean, we're supposed to be friends. Mature people.
The only time you're mature is when you're 6 foot under, because by then you know all the answers.
Just passing. Thought I'd drop these few things in.
Thank you, love.
Right, well, I'll...
Oh, it's all right, love. I'm just off. Anyway, thanks for your advice. I'll remember what you said.
Advice? Said?
About the lucky bags.
And it'll be there, and you'll be able to... Ah, well, I better leave you and get off to work.
Oh, thank you very much. That's very kind of you. How do you expect me to fasten this with it?
These any use to you?
Thank you very much.
Mrs. Sharples asked me to bring them round. She gave me a penny for going the message. She said something about a Kaylie sucker.
That's Mrs. Sharples for you. The soul of generosity.
Elsie, please don't go.
Why have you stopped?
I thought we might go for a walk. Get some fresh air. It's not far from here.
Have we time?
Plenty.
Plenty?
Yes, plenty. I thought we could walk down, kick a couple of stones along, get some dust over our shoes, find a couple of witnesses, and get married.
Sounds pagan.
Yes, it is. But it'll work.
just mind moving a little bit to her left, please. Groom, coming right up to her shoulder. That's it. A nice tight little groove there. That's it.
Oh, Alan, I wish...
Come on, we're going to be late.
Maybe we're late already. Maybe we're too late.
Well, I don't think so.
We've turned our backs on everything and everybody. And they've turned their backs on us.
It's the only way it could be, love. I looks towards you.
I catches your eye.
Do you want a couple of witnesses?
Oh, you came! Oh, that's marvelous. Oh, Bet. Oh, bless you.
You want a drink?
I love it.
Hey, you haven't time, mate.
You're quite right. Good lad. You keep me straight.
Come on.
I call upon these persons here present
I call upon these persons here present
to witness
that
I, Alan Patrick Howard, do take thee, Elsie Tanner, to be my lawful wedded wife. I call upon these persons here present
I call upon these persons here present
to witness
that
I, Elsie Tanner, do take thee, Alan Patrick Howard,
do take thee, Alan Patrick Howard,
to be my lawful wedded husband. Alan Patrick Howard and Elsie Tanner, having consented to be joined together in matrimony, and having witnessed the same before this company, I now declare you are husband and wife together.
What's that for?
Keys to let yourself in with.
Let myself in where?
Next door but one. Where else?
I don't want to let myself in.
Oh, don't you? Well, if you don't mind me saying so, you've let yourself in for a great deal more than you bargained for in the first place. So why not go the whole hog? With me now, are you? You do know what I'm on about.
Yes, I know what you're on about.
Good. Well, you might as well know a bit more. Because hotel bedrooms are one thing, love, but only one thing. It might be all you're good for, but it's only a start.
Who told you?
Never mind who told me, you dirty little bitch.
Don't you call me?
I'll call you what you are, and I haven't even started
You've
yet.
got no right
I've
to
got
call-
every right. And you haven't got any. None at all. And if you don't want Colin a dirty little bitch, stop behaving like one.
Why won't you listen to me?
Because
Mrs.
I haven't finished talking yet. He's in there and he wants his tea. There's a whole pile of washing to be done, if you know what that is. And he wants a clean shirt on him for morning, so you better get started, hadn't you?
You're making some kind of point, are you?
You want him? You can have him. That's always supposing he wants you. But if you take him, you take the lot. The lot or nothing.
Bitch.
No, you really are with me now, aren't you? Well, you don't really want a one-night stand, do you? Because, fellas, love, had a full-time job and I'm not doing your day shift.
What do you think I want?
I think you ought to make up your mind about it.
Do you think I want all that? Do you think I'm trying to give it a miss? Oh, you're so stupid you don't understand. It's all or nothing, is it?
Oh, yes.
Well, I know all about having nothing. What do you know about it? Oh, you're the one, aren't you? You're the one that's been wronged. Because you've got everything and somebody came along and took a small part of it. Spit on me, scratch my eyes out if you like, nobody'd blame you. I'm just the other woman. Nothing and nobody. I'm just stupid enough to want something.
What do you do for a living, Chuck? I mean, apart from offering home comforts to the James Fraser Empire during the dinner time.
Well, I'm resting at present, between engagements.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Well, you've no need to be, honestly, I don't mind at all.
I believe you, Chuck, I believe you.
All right, girls.
Yes, we've just been enjoying some girlish confidences, haven't we, girls?
Same again?
No, not for me, thanks, Jimmy. I have to be off.
Oh, so soon?
Well, there's something about the atmosphere in here today puts me off.
Yes, it is a little too close for comfort, isn't it?
See ya. Are you coming, Annie?
I'll have a large gin and tonic.
I'll get it, Elsie. I'll get it. Don't worry.
Come on, Elsie.
Yes, Alan?
Look, they're a couple of friends of Jimmy's, that's all.
Yes, aren't we all, Chuck?
You know what you are, don't you?
Yes, Alan. Your wife.
Hello.
Don't tell me you've had a hard day at the office.
Yes, I have, as a matter of fact. A damned hard day. I don't expect you to believe it.
That's right.
You know, once upon a time when I came home at night, she used to give me a big hug and a kiss.
Yeah, well, you used to come home at nights then, didn't you?
I'm home now.
Oh, you smell like a brewery.
I'm sorry. You know what I fancy tonight?
Yes, love, I saw you with her, having little drinkies in the Vine at dinner time.
No, I fancy a quiet evening at home with the wife.
Oh, there's one thing I love is being called the wife. It makes me feel like a three-piece suite or something, and an antique one at that.
Hello. Hello, Jimmy. Yes, just. Yes, it was a bit, wasn't it? I was still walking around glassy-eyed at 4 o'clock this afternoon. No. No, I've got nothing on this evening. I'm just going to stay at home and put my feet up and just wind down, you know. No, Jimmy, not tonight. Well, yes, I know what I said, but I wasn't talking about tonight. Oh. I see. Well, yes. You think I should be there? No, she won't mind. See you. All right. That was Jimmy.
No.
He's having trouble with the contractors. He reckons if we can't sort it out, we won't be ready for opening night. He wants me to go down and be peacemaker.
I see.
I've got to go, Elsie. I recommended these contractors to him, you know.
Come here, boy. Sit, boy. Jump, boy. Be a good boy for Mr. James Fraser.
I don't think that's very funny.
As a matter of fact, Alan, neither do I.
Look, Elsie, can you not once, in the course of our married life, just make an effort to understand my situation in business? You know, better than you did with Laura when she offered to withdraw that debt?
I think I'll ignore that.
All right, ignore it.
Look, I do understand your situation, perhaps better than you do. Otherwise, you wouldn't put up with it. He's there, you're there, a regulation 3 paces behind. And when he whistles, oh boy, do you jump at any flaming time of the night or day.
That's rubbish, and you know it.
It's not, it's the truth. It's the truth as I know it anyway. He's not a business associate, and you're just a leg man for him. He must have a dozen others just like it. And boy, when he squeezes you dry, he'll drop you and pick up another mug.
You don't know the first thing about it, do you, about running a business?
No?
No.
And you do, I suppose, with your track record.
Thank you, Elsie.
And this is Coronation Street. I'm here on Britain's most famous street to surprise one of its most famous occupants. But I've got to move fast because any moment now she's going to be at this door taking part in another Coronation Street story. But what she doesn't know is that for the first time on this night of the 15th of November 1972, an outsider has gate crashed the street. And we're going to present her with another story, her own. Now, 2 other famous characters are in on the secret, and I've got to move fast now because I've had a signal that the action is about to begin.
Oh, it's you.
Blimey. And for my next wish, your genie...
I thought it was the bloke I live with.
No, it isn't, love, but if the vacancy's open, I'm willing to offer myself.
Champagne cocktails at 4, ball at dinner at 5, and flaming blue murder at 6.
Do you know there won't be a stuffed olive when we get there, to say nothing of the triple walnut?
Oh, not really. Where the flaming hell have you been?
I'll explain when I share.
Will you? Well, you won't.
Oh, now, come on, Elsie. You're just making matters worse. Come on, Elsie. Come on, Elsie.
I'll give you making flaming matters worse for the first time.
Hold it, Elsie. It's not his fault. He was with me.
Are we...
Actress Pat Phoenix, otherwise known as Elsie Tanner. Tonight, this is your life.
Yes. Taffy! You can't.
Yeah, we have a special party now that the Rovers return, but I can't wait until they go to the Grand Hotel Manchester. You ready to go?
Come on.
And you two fellas can join later when you're smarting up a bit,
Where's your
But send best wishes with the other stars of Coronation Street, Doris Speed, Jack Howard, Jennifer Moss, William Roach, Kenneth Paddington, Graham Haverfield, Betty Driver, Neville Bushell, Diana Davis, Julie Goddard, Ryan Mosley, Barbara Mullaney, Irene Sutcliffe, and Stephen Hancock. Now, the world knows Elsie Tanner, but these friends know the real Pat Phoenix. Now, Bernard, you've known Pat since long before Coronation Street.
Yeah, many years ago in Twice Nightly Rep, matter of fact, yeah. A great little actress and a very generous person, too. If you were skint, you could always borrow from Pat, you know. I kind of think the same thing applies now.
Great. Jack?
Well, Pat's very, very thoughtful, even in little things. I remember a few months ago, I lost something that had got great sentimental value to me. It was the very first present my wife ever bought me, a Malacca walking stick. I carried it around for about 43 years, and I really was upset. And when Pat heard about it, she went out, bought me one to replace it, and here it is.
Situation once, didn't she?
Yes, we were on board.
Don't tell.
No, it isn't that one, dear. Because we were on board a yacht in Sydney Harbour in Australia. And Pat sat down to have dinner with our hosts and suddenly realised that I wasn't there. And then she thought, well, I haven't seen her for about an hour. So she came to look for me.
And where did she find you?
Well, now, if she really had been Elsie Tanner, I should probably still be there on the other side of the world, because I was locked in the lavatory.
1960, after returning home to Manchester, you auditioned for a part in a new series being planned by Granada Television. It's probably hard to remember now, but the series was first called by another name, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Do you want me to tell?
Yes.
Florizel Street.
Yes, Florizel Street became Coronation Street, and as Elsie Tanner, Pat Phoenix found the success she'd struggled so hard for, thanks to the man who dreamed up Coronation Street and chose you as Elsie Tanner, writer Tony Warren. Howard. They all stood to applaud you there. When Pat came for that audition, you...
my nose. Sorry.
You read the part with her, didn't you?
Yeah, and it's incredible because, you know, every writer on earth, when he's writing, hears a little voice in his head. But she came in, and that was the little voice I'd heard. And that was it. And Pat, I'm here tonight to say, on behalf of all the writers, thank you for 1,000 lovely performances. But for me alone, I'm going to say thank you for being the one person who's risen out of television and become a star.
Thank you, Tony Walton.
One fella and go through life and be happy with him and never have to fall in love or anything.
Trouble with fellas is they're fellas.
Yeah.
If that's the sermon for today, I'll say amen.
You wouldn't like to say cigarettes, would you?
You what? Oh, no, I couldn't say that word. The best I could do is write it down on a plain piece of paper and have it delivered to my house in a plain envelope.
But you do want something.
Oh, I want something.
Long as it makes till gooding, yeah.
That's right.
Hey, what am I bothering about his flaming till for? I'd a good mind give everything away today as a special offer.
I'd love to see Len's face if you did.
Oh, I wish you'd not mentioned that name.
Oh.
Hey, I better be off.
Are you not in our hero's good books, then?
I'm not in his anything books, good, bad, or indifferent. See ya, ta-ra.
Ah, poor Len.
Some say, others say...
I wouldn't say out round here. Not while he's the local hero, I wouldn't.
Local rat.
Oh, you haven't heard, then?
I don't want to hear.
Oh, I see. So you wouldn't want to hear about him jumping in the canal and saving a woman's life, would you?
Big joke.
No joke, love, honest.
Well, if he did, he were either that busy gawping after he fell in, or he were pushed.
And you wouldn't want to hear the reason why he jumped in the canal at the time was when he was on his way to stop Alf Roberts from resigning.
You are telling me the truth, are you?
On this occasion, love, yes.
Tell me who's daft. Tell me who has put a big clumsy foot right in it again.
I shouldn't let it bother you, love.
Last time I saw him, I told him where he could go and crawl for putting the boot in with Alf.
What was it you were saying about fellas when I just came in?
Oh, well, that were before.
Oh, aye. You see, the trouble with women, love, and especially women like us, we don't get the needle when fellas two-time other fellas. We get the needle when they two-time other women. And especially if them women happen to be us, that's when we get knocked.
That's your view.
Oh, aye. And yours, I know. Just because he didn't take you to France with him. I only came in for a pair of tights. The way to a man's heart, and it never fails.
Hey, do you want me to put a candle in this empty vinegar bottle?
Oh, no, ain't nothing too ostentatious. They think we're up to something. No, something just so ordinary and domestic. Oh, it's you.
And I'm just off track.
Were you expecting Donald Duck?
Oh, you are in a mood, aren't you?
I've just been to the bank manager, that's all. Yes, Mr. Howard. Well, it's like this, Mr. Howard. And a great sympathy for Billy the Kid today.
Trouble?
No, it's just, well, I haven't got as much money as I thought I had. It's not that. It's just when they talk to you, they're so patronizing, you know.
Well, just you get sat down and eat that. Got your nice steak.
No fish and chips today?
I often get your steak, and at 70p a time.
Yes, every October the 3rd.
Just shut up and get it down here.
So the next day, he went to see his mate, and he said, here.
No.
He said, them oysters ain't all they're cracked up to be, you know. One of them didn't work.
But if you stop expecting me to answer questions, I'll taste it and tell you.
You must hear lots of stories on your travels.
Hundreds of them.
You know, I often wonder who makes them all up.
I believe it's some fellow on the London Stock Exchange.
Open a branch.
Although what stockbrokers have got to laugh about today, I've got no idea. Oh. Elsie, we'll be moving if you're ready.
I said no.
What's your drill?
Hmm?
Well, do we
Go
go
to
back
the
to your
condo,
place or what? I suppose I could get you into my hotel if
I
necessary.
said, if
but,
you think
it's
I'm
a
going
way
all
over on
that
the
way
other
up
side
there,
of town.
even if it's not so far.
How do you
Just to
And
get
listen, don't worry about the money.
started.
You take care of
Even
me and
though
I'll
you
take
think
care
I
of
am
you.
the best.
Shall
If
we
you
be
think I've
moving?
got all that, then you've got another thing.
Take me for? Well, what's happened?
Do you think I'm some sort of tart or something?
Have I used words
You just
like...
use words that amount to say the same thing. summit. Do you think I'm some sort of professional or something?
Just sit,
You're too old to be an amateur.
Good steak.
Why, George, let go of me. Don't tell me. Tell him he's just insulted me.
Come on,
Let
stop
go
your
of me.
leaving.
I'll go on the own good time and not before. Leave me alone.
Ready now. Unless you want me to call the police. Now go on and don't come back.
It's Newcastle.
Otherwise I'll put a complaint in about you next time.
I know Newcastle, you know. I'm a
I'm
Geordie.
sorry about that, Frank.
I just told you.
All of a sudden, she turned funny.
Don't worry about it, Mr. Lee.
You might see what the true north is like. Not these bandages down here.
The gin and tonic. Have one yourself.
You mean I can go?
I'll drive him myself.
Oh, no. No, I can't. I couldn't. I couldn't leave you, could I?
You won't be leaving me alone. I'll be up there for every 2 days I can pinch. No, you go to Newcastle. You meet my relations, you know. You like all the fellas up there. They've got chests like barrack blocks and picks and shovels growing out of their ears.
I'm in a hurry to get rid of me.
Well, I want to get back to fish and chips. I'm tired of these terminal steaks you're serving me.
Not so sure whether I'll go. Might start having women in or something.
Not every night.
Oh, well, in that case, that settles it. I shan't go.
Pound to a penny, you do.
Do you think you'll ever, in fact, get rid of Elsie Tanner as such?
Oh, no, I don't want to. I mean to say, I like to think that people always remember Elsie Tanner because she was such a marvellous part and she was so very good to me. I don't care if I play, you know, Ophelia, which I won't now at my age, but if I was to play Ophelia, they said, isn't Elsie Tanner good as Ophelia? It doesn't really matter because she was such a marvellous part to play.
It was a marvellous part, actually,
super,
wasn't it?
yes.
It was a very rich part and a very, very true part, wasn't it?
So many dimensions to it. It wasn't just two-sided.
Yes.
Yes, I enjoyed it.
Particularly in the early days, I thought, when they had some marvellous writers writing the scripts then.
Yes, and it was very outright. Yes, we had Peter Exley, Jack Rosenthal, Tony Warren, all of them. You know, Tony Warren, who conceived us all, that young boy.
That's right.
You know, there he was, about 22 years old, slim, blonde, looking like a gazelle or something. And he spawned myself, Ina Sharples, and Annie Walker. Can you believe it?
He had a marvellous title to his book, actually. I was Ina Sharples' father.
That's right. Yes, and mine as well.
That's right, yeah. And he didn't make a tuppence out of it, did he, really?
No, he didn't. It was a sad thing, because when he wrote Coronation Street, and it was all him at the beginning, all those wonderful lines like, yeah, I'll see you're just about ready for the knuckle yard, you know, those beautiful lines. He was a trainee writer, and so he was not on the tremendous salary that everybody thought he was earning at that time. He didn't make a lot out of it, no, but he's doing very well at the moment, thank you.
Of course, the other thing, too, is that, I mean, I remember, because I was up in Granada at the time, you know, when you were up there. Stop it. And I remember there was a kind
That's
of...
right, and I'm going to write a book about him.
Yeah. Oh, yes, I was looking for my name.
Next one.
I see.
Yes.
Thank you. That's the Frank Confessions is the next one.
Yes, it is.
What was I going to say? Bringing back so many memories, Pat. Oh, yes, the thing about the money.
Don't blush,
No,
love.
no,
I won't
it's
tell
all right.
them. It's all right.
The thing was that up there in Granada, you've got this incredible bunch of people who, by television standards, were superstars. I mean, the most recognised people in the country. And you had a kind of Beverly Hills Salford up there, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, it was. Yeah.
No, but it was. It was sort of big-time stuff. And yet, none of them really made a lot of money out of it, did they? I mean, the actors. I mean, they didn't get paid that much at all.
No, we didn't. Comparatively speaking, we didn't. It wasn't a lot of money if you compare it with other series and things like that. The one advantage that they said it had was that, unlike other actors, we were working every day, every week of the year. But it was... Compare it with anything else, and it was pretty poor.
It was peanuts, actually,
yes,
wasn't
it
it?
was. Yes, it was. But really, that wasn't the reason that severed me from Coronation Street, because all of us in it, I think we stayed for lots of reasons. A, for security, but there was a great family feeling, you know that family feeling. And in Coronation Street, more than anything else, we all slotted in. We became a family. And you know this feeling of trying to make families out of people that you meet in companies. You know, I always wanted to get everybody together and make a family. And Coronation Street was like that, and still is.
But how much was it a monster to the actors who were in it? I mean, some of them, I mean, you're like yourself, you survived. You came out the other side unscathed. But
we don't know yet.
It was a monster to one or two, wasn't it?
I mean, yes, it was. There was a couple of broken marriages, and there was too much too soon for some of them, and for Peter, my dear mate.
Peter Adamson.
Yes, Peter Adamson, then Fairglove, who was my dear mate. There was the alcoholic side, which I'm sure he wouldn't mind me talking about.
No, well, he's written about it.
But he's come all the way back now, and he's a super fella. But a lot of it, I'm sure, was the weight of the street and the fact that he was playing an aggressive character, and he would go into a pub for a drink, quiet drink, and somebody would come up and say, "Oh, so you're bloody Fairclough, are you? Put your fists up."
Yeah.
And we all had to hide behind something, you see. Yeah. I used to hide behind that temper, because I'm ever such a quiet girl, really.
But you literally, of course, I suppose you'd have this awful problem of some people being unable to separate the fact from the fiction. That must, in the end, really make you fed up, I would imagine.
Well, it didn't bother me so much because, as I say, I had a marvellous part and there was a bit of Elsie Tanner in me, or a bit of me in Elsie Tanner. But there were lots of instances, for instance, very funny incidents. You got Eileen Derbyshire, you know, who played Miss Nugent, who is a very sweet, shy girl, really. She's super. And I remember her meeting some people, some viewers one time, and they came up to her and there was a stony silence while this rather large, rounded lady looked at her and says, "Hey," she said, "I never would have believed it." And Eileen's looking all around to see what's the matter. She said, "You're all in colour." I thought she was going to be black and white, you know. Enos Sharples. Bye, I'll see you home. Hello, Lynn.
Well, don't just stand there. Come in.
Not long after her return, it wasn't long before Elsie's fiery temper once again hit our screens.
Hold your coat.
I want a word with you.
Oh, yes.
Yes. I believe you said one or two things about me to Mrs. Matthews.
I don't know any Mrs. Matthews.
The woman that owns Sylvia's shop, you know who I mean.
Oh, yeah, well, what about it?
Yeah. Well, I'd like you to say to my face what you said to her about me.
I don't know what you mean. I've got better things to do than go around talking about you.
She told me that you said to her that she was employing a shoplifter.
Oh, no, definitely not. She's got it all wrong.
Oh, well, in that case, perhaps you wouldn't mind going down to that shop with me and repeating what you said in front of me.
I'll do no such thing.
Because you're a liar, that's why.
Now, don't you go browbeating me, Elsie Tanner. If I did say anything to that woman, I didn't say no more than the truth.
You and your evil tongue, you want locking up and the key throwing away. You've lost me my job, you have.
Well, that's your hard luck.
I thought I heard voices. I hope you ladies are not having an altercation.
And just what do you mean by that, Hilda?
Well, there's your dentist, for one, if we're talking about folk
Ladies,
please.
It's
very obvious to me when he learns his habits.
What are you saying? I could swing for you, Hilda,
Yeah,
and enjoy every minute.
Ladies, please, if you want to have a fight in here, give us a few days' notice. We'll get some tickets printed. Now, meanwhile, you're frightening the gentlemen, so please calm down and try to contain yourselves.
All right. I've said all I've had to say to her. And I'll tell you something else. I wouldn't touch her with a 10-foot pole.
You know, you want to be careful what you say, Elsie Tanner. Your tongue will get you into trouble one of these days.
Make it a fine, love.
If I was you, Ray, I'd make it a half, and I'd get it down fast.
Young man.
Oh, yeah, I've not forgotten them catches.
Oh, yes, for keeping burglars out.
In my mind, love.
Oh, is it? Well, I just picked up another useful hint for keeping burglars out. Don't point out people's houses to all the villains in the neighbourhood as free doss houses.
I'm not sure I'm with you, love.
Oh, I think you are. We had a visit from a couple of mates of yours the other night.
My mates? What mates?
Oh, I think you know what I'm talking about. You told them to try Ken's. There'd be nobody at home.
Oh, them two? I wouldn't say they was mates.
Oh, you're with me now, are you?
Well, I did tell them, yes. Ken knows Eddie, and I thought... Oh, of course, Ken's moved out, hasn't he? It's your house, innit? I see what you mean now.
You know, you've got the cheek of the devil, you have.
I do hope they didn't put you to no inconvenience.
Oh, no, not at all. They only broke in twice and dossed on my parlour floor, unbeknownst to me.
They didn't. Don't it take the cake, eh? You know, it slipped me mind he'd moved out. I'm not living next door these days, you see.
You know, God knows why, but this time I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
Oh, I were hoping you belt him.
But I'll tell you something. Sometimes your sense of humour does not amuse me at all. And I'll tell you something else. One more monkey trick from you will be one more monkey trick too many. You have been told. Come on, Gail, let's get gone.
Well, when you think about it, I was doing everybody a favour. Sending you two fellas on a plate, eh? Let's face it, you got trouble pulling your own these days.
Excuse me. Yes, that's me. Excuse me. Oh, yes, sure. It's just that I needed something heavy, and this'll just do the trick. Thank you.
That will be quite enough, Mrs. Howard.
Ray, I just want to hear him say that again.
And I'm just waiting for my pint.
Don't think I won't belch you with it, because I will. I've had half bricks in my handbag before for drunks and idiots.
Quite enough, and don't serve Ray.
You are making yourself ridiculous.
Am I?
Yeah, well, come on, that's enough, Sunshine.
I am telling you both to leave these premises.
I just want to hear him repeat it again, that little witticism of his.
Well, you won't, because I'm not going to.
Oh, then you are learning.
Yeah, well, that's it, innit?
Why, Jill? It's no good kicking the facts, is it? I mean, let's face it. You don't need half a brick to fend them off, love. You need a brick to catch them.
Hey,
with.
off!
Go on, Elsie!
What are you silly? Come on! Get on! Come on, just leave him alone.
Mrs. Howard!
Come on, leave me alone.
This, I believe, is yours, Mrs. Walker. It was very useful. Thank you very much.
Get it, Ray. So, love.
Oh, better. Oh, God bless you, Mrs. Copperfield. Lovely. Have you found yourself a flat yet?
Oh, isn't that funny? We were just saying. No, I haven't. I'll have to go back to our place, I suppose.
Oh, I don't know why you left there in the first place.
Scared, I suppose.
Scared?
Well, I never told you before, so forget it. It's daft.
No, daft or not. Come on, I want to know. Tell us.
Well, if you must know, we're landlord.
I thought it was the landlady.
No, a landlord. He had funny little ways, like hiding at top of stairs in the dark and shouting, "Hi, Littler." Or he used to knock on your bedroom and say, "Germany calling, Germany calling." He thought you were Lord Haw-Haw or something like that.
Go on.
Well, that's all, really. Except you have this room full of German things, swastikas and that. And he used to wear this funny German helmet with a big spike on top. Well, he never touched me, but I always thought the next time he might.
You are not going back there. You are not going back there. You can have a week here to look round, but keep looking, mind you.
Oh, and she kind. You are better than my mum, you. You don't believe the word I said. I thought you were staying in.
I was, but I changed my mind when I suddenly developed this craving for fish chips and mushy peas. But I'm going to have a drink first, gin and tonic, if you don't mind.
I heard that. Hey, I've got something for you. In tonight's paper, a flat, 17 Kitchener Street. Don't touch it with a barge pole. It's that fella I was telling you about.
What fella?
Oh, blow the drink. Let's go for the fish and chips.
This pot-bellied little landlord given to lurking on landings. And his room, which I only saw when I went to pay the rent, so I don't mean what you think I mean. His room, would you believe it, was full of swastikas and SS armbands. He even had a picture of Adolf. And you know, he'd sneak on landing and he'd shout through my keyhole, "Germany calling." Oh, we were a rumman.
Did he have the helmet with a spike on the top?
No, why, do you know him?
No, but she does very well. She had a landlord just like that, didn't you, Chuck? That's why she can't go back, can't you, Chuck? Because you're scared, aren't you, Chuck?
Oh, you naughty girl.
All right, it's a fair cop. I'll go and pack me things.
You don't have to kind. It's not the time for us turning backs on people after view of what's happened. Come on, let's take the weight off our feet. Ta.
Oh, glamorous grandmother competition.
Let me have a look at that. The sly cat, would you credit it?
Who is it?
See for yourself.
Ooh, some folk never give up. Ivy, if you want a flaming photograph, why don't you just say so? You two have been gawping at me as if I've got two heads ever since I came in this morning.
Do you know, I reckon you're going to have your work cut out there, Vera. Mind you might have the edge in a bikini.
What are you on about?
I've got to hand it to you, though, Elsie. I never thought you'd had guts to do it, kid.
Of course it were different with me, you see. It was my son, he sent it.
Sent in what?
Hey, kid, dear, she don't know. Tell you what, you show her and I'll watch your face. I reckon it is news to her, Vera.
Glamorous grandmother? Glamorous grandmother? All right, which one of you? Who said this?
It wasn't any of us, Elsie. I mean, what are you getting upset for anyway? It was a lovely picture, is that?
Of course, photographs taken outside. They do tend to cast shadows under the eyes. Still, I suppose they were the best one you had.
You don't suppose I sent this in, do you?
What are you supposed to think,
I'll tell you what you're supposed to think. This is somebody's idea of a joke. And if I find out who sent it in, they'll wish they'd never been born.
Can I have a word with you, Earl?
Oh, you got your money on them, Mr. Baldwin?
Eh?
Glamorous granny competition. Haven't you backed anybody?
Oh, that, yeah.
Oh, you must be very proud. You've got two finalists working here.
Well, it shows I can pick 'em, that's all.
Oh, you can.
I'm talking, Mr. Baldwin, Vera. Who do you reckon then, Mr. Baldwin?
Well, I reckon I'm not getting the work out of you girls that I'm paying you for. Anyway, I'm not one of the judges, thank God. Come on in, Elsie. I want to show you these new samples I've got. Elsie, come on.
Hey, congratulations. You know, getting through to the final.
I say? The wrong thing, Ernie, as per usual.
Is that you, Elsie?
It is.
Oh, I beat the chippy. I know it's a bit of a luxury these days, but it's quick, isn't it?
Uh-huh. Got the coupon out, did she? Pity she had to cut the other side out with my photograph in, isn't it?
Oh, did she? Oh, I don't suppose she noticed. Why was your picture in the paper?
Because you sent it in, you or your mate.
Eh?
Well, didn't you? It's got your trademark all over it, this house. Well, did you or didn't you?
Yes.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, what's wrong with it? It's a smashing photo. You'll knock 'em sideways.
What's wrong with it? I'll tell you what's wrong with it. It's my photo in the first place and not yours. In the second place, I hate being laughed at behind my back. And in the third place, I am sick up to here of interference from other people with things that don't concern them.
Well, we thought you'd be pleased. I mean, didn't we, Gail?
Huh? Oh, yeah, we did.
Oh, yes, I'm delirious. How could you send me down the river into that cattle market without asking me? What else have you been up to behind my back, or is that a surprise and all?
Nothing.
The whole flaming world knew about it, except Muggins here.
You must be a bit pleased.
Oh, I'm sure you really believe that.
Well, yes, else we wouldn't have...
What have I got to be pleased about?
The judges thought you were good enough to get into the final. They must have had a lot of entries.
A glamorous grandmother competition?
Well, that is what you are. You're a granny and you're very... well, glamorous.
Now, listen to me, Susie Birchall, and this goes for your mate as well. What I am is my business and nobody else's. It doesn't concern you. You are just the lodgers in this house. I am fed up to the back teeth with your antics like a couple of school kids. And if there's one more stunt pulled by you like that, just one, you're for the high road, the pair of you. Phew. Keep the young, they said when I took you in. You put flaming years on me.
Phone's
what?
ringing. She said the phone's ringing.
Oh, shit. Hello. Oh, hello, Ted. No, I didn't know he was. Oh, I'm fine. Yes, it is a long time. The girls? Oh, they're fine. Oh? Oh, you saw it, did you? My photo in the Gazette. Hmm? Oh, it's nice of you to say so. Oh, it's not a bad picture. It was taken at Len and Rita's wedding outside the Green Veil. Yeah. Tonight? Well, yes, Ted, that'll be fine. Okay. Okay. I'll see you then. Goodbye, Ted. That was Ted.
We gathered. It's been a long time since you've seen him, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Of course, you know what it is, don't you?
Surprise me.
Well, he's seen your photo in the Gazette and realised what he's been missing.
Get the vinegar.
Coming up.
There was this table, you see. Very nice bit of wood, actually. Deirdre was very fond of it. Only we made the mistake of inviting these two fellas along to the party. So-called muckers of mine. And before we knew where we was, the table was splattered all over the floor. And nobody prepared to cough up for the damage.
All right, mighty mouth, you made your point. How much do you reckon that table was worth anyway? Tenner, did you say?
Probably more, allowing for the Chancellor of the Exchequer, but we'll call it that, yeah.
All right, there's my father. Get the other from the mayor of flipping Weatherfield over there.
No way.
Oh, I'll pay.
You will, Ellen,
Just
right?
to shut him up, because I'm sick of the whole damn business.
Certainly no sicker than the rest of us are, dear.
And if I might say, Mrs. Walker, I don't see what business it is of yours.
It became my business, dear, when your husband walked in here and started brawling with a member of my staff. Not that I am taking sides. I think they're both as bad as one another. And I don't mind telling you that in the last 24 hours, I have come very close to sacking Fred and banning you, Len.
If anybody wants banning, Mrs. Walker, it's them that started it in first place.
Oh, yeah? Anybody special in mind?
Nobody special. Nobody remotely that.
All right, just watch it, Littlewood, that's all.
And you watch it. And the name's Fairclough. Is that the bit that sticks in your craw?
No,
come on,
Never
Rita.
mind, come on. She's been hanging after you ever since Alan ditched her.
That'll be the day, madam, when I hang around after your
Now,
leaving.
ladies, please.
Ladies, nothing. You don't think I'm going to take that from her, do you? The poor man's Marlena Dietrich.
See, for 2 pins, I'd drag you round this pub by that daft red wig of
You're
yours.
welcome to try, madam, any time.
Oh, you've always been a bloody troublemaker.
Keep your big neb out of this,
Now
mate.
that is enough. Quite enough, all of you. If you wish to brawl like alley cats, then kindly brawl outside where you belong, in the alley, not in my house. And kindly stop this at once or leave, all of you. I'd like another couple of crates of brown ale brought up, please, Fred.
Right, Mrs. Walker. Excuse me.
Mrs. Walker, there are times when I see you in action. I wonder how the heck we ever lost the Empire.
Please, could I have the same again, please?
Yes, madam. Gin and tonic, wasn't it?
Yes, that's right.
I'll pay for that, Frank.
No, really, thank you, no.
Oh, yes, it's already paid for. Isn't that right, Frank?
That's right.
I'd rather you didn't.
I drink the same thing myself. Now, we've got to stick together as G&T drinkers. There's a hard world out there. Come on, it's my pleasure. I'd be offended if you didn't accept.
Well, in that case, cheers.
Cheers. Keep the change, Frank. My name's Bernard, by the way. Bernard Lane. I'd like to know yours.
Elsie Howard.
Well, nice to meet you, Elsie. To meet you, nice. You know, before you came along, I was feeling a bit on the Jack Jones side.
It's not a nice feeling, is it?
You can say that again, especially when you're off your home patch. Yeah, I don't come from these parts.
Oh, I see.
I get up here quite a lot, though, you know, business trips and the like. I've got to know quite a few people. But when it's holiday time like today, I don't know what happens to everybody.
Somehow they all seem to vanish into thin air.
Absolutely right. I've not seen you before, though. I'm sure of that. I take it this place is not one of your regular haunts?
No, I just happened to be passing, so I thought I'd drop in.
Glad you did. So the next day, he went to see his mate, and he said, here. He said, them oysters ain't all they're cracked up to be, you know. One of them didn't work.
You must hear lots of stories on your travels.
Hundreds of them.
You know, I often wonder who makes them all up.
I believe it's some fellow on the London Stock Exchange. Although what stockbrokers have got to laugh about today, I've got no idea. Well, Elsie, we'll be moving if you're ready. What's your drill? Well, do we go back to your place or what? I suppose I could get you into my hotel if necessary, but it's a way over on the other side of town.
How do you mean?
And listen, don't worry about the money. You take care of me and I'll take care of you. Shall we be moving?
What'd you take me for?
Well, what's up?
Do you think I'm some sort of tart or something?
Well, I used words
You've just
like...
used words that amounted to the same thing. Do you think I'm some sort of professional or something?
Well, let's face it, kid, you're too old to be an amateur.
Why, let go of me. Don't tell me. Tell him. He's just insulted me.
Come on,
Let
stop
go
your
of me.
leaving.
I'll go in my own good time and not before. Leave me alone.
You're ready now. Unless you want me to call the police. Now go on and don't come back. Otherwise I'll put a complaint in about you next time.
You shouldn't have bothered, love.
Oh, Belle, don't, will you? You don't think I was going to sit all dinner hour wondering whether you were lying like a sickly kipper in bed, do you?
Well, I'm not. I'm down.
Yeah, but only just. You can tell me, Elsie. You can trust me.
I know, but leave it, love, eh?
It was last night, wasn't it? Something happened last night.
Look, love, I'm not sick. I don't need nursing. I'm okay. Now, just get off to work and leave me alone, eh? There's a good girl. Don't go.
Oh, don't be daft.
Look, if it's anyone for me, I'm not in.
Well, is she in here or not? Oh, God blimey, don't tell me you've been here all the time. I've been searching all over Weatherfield for her.
Well, why didn't you look here first?
I did. She didn't bother to answer.
She's not well, Mike.
Right, so if one of the staff is sick, they're supposed to let me know, eh? Did she tell you?
No. Well, I didn't know till I popped back just now that she'd not gone in.
Yeah, well, all right, love. You get back to the shop, eh? Tell Susie I've found her. I practically had a posse out looking for her.
Buck up, else.
Well, I'm waiting.
For what?
For an explanation for a start. I'm the bloke that's paying your wages, remember?
I felt lousy. I couldn't have come into work for £1,000,000. I should have let you know. I'm sorry.
You look lousy. So what's it all about, then, eh?
Personal.
Yeah, well, the things that club you the hardest generally are. Alan?
What makes you say that?
Well, I don't know. Someone close to you?
Alan's not close anymore.
Legally?
Not even that. I got the divorce papers. They arrived today.
Yeah, well, that's not exactly a shot out the blue, is it? You knew it was going to happen.
Yes.
But you wanted him back.
All so final. Those papers are like a funeral on a chunk of somebody's life. Two people. What they did, what they were. Dead.
Sometimes, Elsa, the best thing to do with the past is bury it. You've got to live in the here and now.
Oh, yes. And how's your here and now?
Me? I can't complain.
Oh, yes, it's fine, isn't it? Because you've got your freedom, your money and your girlfriends, and if tomorrow or the day after or 10 years from now you find the bachelor life a bit boring, the options are all on your side, aren't they?
No more than anybody
A
else's.
damn sight more than mine.
Well, what's the good of clinging to a marriage that's dead? Bloody sight lonely if that's what all this is about.
Alan's getting married again. She can't be 30. I met her last time she came down here.
So he's got himself a young bird, lots of blokes do. Why crucify yourself? He didn't do it when he was with you. What he's done now he's left is his own business.
I wish to God it had been another woman that had split us up. At least I could blame somebody else.
Yeah, well, don't come the martyr bit, darling. It's not your style.
Look, I've been married 3 times and you say none of it is my fault?
Well, possibly is for making the wrong choices, but what's the point in holding a post-mortem about all that now?
No point. No point at all. There's no future in it. There is no future.
Yeah, we'll cut the self-pity bit, darling. I mean, you're not the only one. Life is a war, else we're all casualties from time to time.
Not you.
I'll debate that with you some other time.
You're a fella, it's different for you.
Now, why do women always say that?
Because you don't have to sit back and take all the muck that's thrown at you.
Oh, and when have you ever done that?
Lots of times, lots of times. It was all very different once. I was quite something when I was young.
Yeah. Yeah, I can believe that.
I could have had any fella I wanted. They used to queue up just to take me home from work. And the dances. Wallflower. I didn't even know the meaning of the word. Gail and Susie. You don't know anything. How I ever come to marry nothing like Arnold Tanner, I shall never know. Yes, I do. It's a mistake thousands of young girls make and live to regret it. But you know, I could have done anything. Gone anywhere. Not just with fellas, but life in general. I was a fighter.
Blokes worry about exactly the same things, you know. Being alone. Losing this. Wonder if they can still pull the birds. All the things that go with getting old.
You know, the woman I once thought I was not there anymore. I keep looking at myself from the outside. Seeing myself as other people do.
Yeah, well, it's never the same, is it?
It's lousy. Terrifying.
Just a matter of coming to terms with yourself.
What have I got to come to terms with?
Oh, come on, Els. I mean, you got friends, good job. You're still an attractive woman.
For a good liar, you're a lousy liar.
Yeah, well, you know, when you get yourself done
When
up...
I get myself done up, what? You know what I look like when I get done up, shall I tell you? Like a clapped-out old tart.
Oh, come on, Els.
Oh, when I get myself done up. Got myself done up last night, as you call it. I didn't think I looked too revolting. Went into town. Had a coffee. Then I went in this bar. It was empty. It was early, and I sat there looking at my watch. Like I was waiting for somebody, like you do when you're on your own. Then this fella asked me to have a drink. Bernard. He seemed a pleasant enough chap. He was on his own. I was on my own.
And?
He asked me to go up to his hotel room.
Don't tell me you were shocked.
He thought I was on the game. He took it for granted, and so did the old puff behind the bar. There was a bit of a scene. He asked me to leave. Chucked out.
Yeah, all the same. I mean, a woman alone in a bar, I mean, I shouldn't blame the bloke too much. I mean, it's a mistake.
Do you mistake every woman you see on her own in a bar to be a pro?
Me? Well, no, I mean, but...
But I was.
Forget it. Don't let it bug you. I mean, it's not worth...
But breaking me heart over a little thing like that, well, I'm not. Not just that. The old lousy rotten mess I laughingly call my life. The cock-up I've made of it. The waste. I walked down that street last night. Pouring with rain. Cried my eyes out. for a girl I once knew. Who had guts and hope. Only she's dead now. And I don't know quite when it was. She died.
Good job you're not working still across the road, isn't it? They've had you carrying a banner.
Oh, I don't think so. I'm not the striking type.
I doubt many people are. They just get dragged into these things and they haven't a clue what they're doing.
I'm not so sure of that.
Millie Henshaw's Arthur has been out on strike from that dye works for 7 months. 7 long months and hardly a penny coming into the house. And when I asked her what he was striking about, she said she wasn't sure, but it was some sort of principle.
What principle?
You might well ask. She didn't know. Now, you know Arthur Henshaw. Nice, inoffensive little fella, wouldn't say boo to a goose. And somebody tells him to walk out of his work and stay out for 7 months without giving him any reason, let alone asking him whether he agreed to it or not. All the poor lad knew was that if he went back into his job, chaps he'd known all his life would stop speaking to him.
Oh, get it. I'm sure all strikes are not like that.
Quite a lot are.
And now watch it. It's been a long time since you worked in the mill, and all is not sweetness and light because they're not sending kids down the mine anymore.
Now, did I say that? Strike for a living wage if you like, but you don't bring a business to a close to buy a new brush head for Hilda Ogden.
Well, maybe that's the only trick they've got to strike with.
Right, well, they want to get some of them bigwigs from the trades unions to get the heads together and make a new one.
Yes, and they'll have enough wood left over to make a chest of drawers, wouldn't they?
I was trying to be serious, and it wouldn't do you any harm to be serious.
Oh, is that what you've come round here for, to talk politics to me?
No, it suddenly bethought me this morning. I'd better get across and have a word with her before she starts making another mess of her life.
I see. And what do you think of Margaret Thatcher, Mrs. Sharple?
Oh, she's very happily married. That's more than you are.
Drink your tea, you'll have it stone cold.
Well?
Well, what?
What are you going to do with your life? And don't go saying it's none of my business.
I wouldn't dream of it.
I should hope not. I've lived in this street a long time. And I can remember when you could lay your hand on more Yanks than Eisenhower, and I'm not having you going mad again. We're getting a bit old for that game.
Thank you. Have another cup of tea.
And less of the sarcasm. If I think you want talking to, I shall talk to you. And you won't shut me up by offering me another cup of tea or a piece of cake, which you haven't done yet.
It's there in front of you, slab cake. It's bought.
Oh, that's an idea. Why don't you start baking again?
Oh.
It's not full of seeds, is it?
Why don't you try it and see? You know what you make me feel like? Coming round here, offering me advice, treating me like a kid.
Ashamed of yourself?
Ashamed be blowed. Young. Here, come on, make a pig of yourself. I must want me bumps feeling. I must be tuppence short of a shilling, really. 3/4 of an hour for dinner, and what do? Come home and play tea ladies with this great lump. Is there something about me that makes you think mother?
At the moment, definitely, yeah.
Well, you might at least have got the cups out.
Oh, it's not my turn to get the cups out, Mum.
You're asking to have a tomato bounced right off your skull.
Oh, Mum, it's not flaming.
I'll give you our Mum in a minute. Oh, well, it'll all be different next week.
Why, what's happening?
Well, I won't be here, will I? Won't be here to wipe your nose for you, make your butties, or pinch all the hot bath water and take the best tights with no runs in.
Are you going to Torquay?
Oh, give her the banana. Oh, you're a soft soaper, you.
There's no tea bags, so I think I'll nip down to the shop.
You've kept this very quiet. You were dead against it 5 minutes ago.
Well, I had to have a think about it, didn't I?
Not about me. Gail's going, you're going.
Well, you'll have to stop being so shiftless, won't you?
Oh, that's a mean thing to say.
Oh, come on now, love. You're big enough and old enough, and you've got the cheek for 10,000.
It's not that. It's just... Oh, I don't know.
Chuck, I had to think about my own future. You know, Well, I can't tell you how old I am, and all I've got outside this house is that That flaming job, it makes me blood run cold when I think of it. And you can't exactly call that a glorious career, can you?
I'd rather have your job than mine. I'll be on my own, stuck here.
Come on now, you're a bird on the wing, you are.
I feel deserted. I feel...
Feel like the cook's handed in a notice, eh?
No. We got on. The complaining, the chunning, it was like... Oh, I don't know.
Oh, come on, sit yourself down. Eat your butties, there. You know, all I need now is Annie Walker down on her knees to me, Ena Sharples getting up a petition, and Mike Baldwin bursting into tears when I handed me notice. Oh, come on, Chuck.
You wanted a word, Else?
Yeah, I want to see you in the office.
1 o'clock I was in the office. 5 past I'm on the way. Or you, clock in unless someone else has already done it for you. Then bring me those parcels outside the office, will you? Come in, sit down, have a cigarette.
Well, this is hardly the place, is
Now,
it?
look, I started life with a bar in the market.
All right, all right. I want me cards and me coppers. In fact, I'm giving you a week's notice.
Oh, week's notice. Getting a bit grand, aren't we? Shades of high management. No need to do that else. You can finish tonight.
Thank you, driver. Keep the change.
Yoo-hoo! Run! Guess who's back?
Elsie?
Sounds like it's acting near a wireless.
Thanks.
You've never been here since this morning, have you, Hilda? Is somebody employing you as a guard dog or what?
She's back, Elsie Tanner.
Really?
And Ron Mather's just gone in.
Well, what are you waiting for then?
Huh?
Go and get your ear to party wall before you miss out. Don't you stick 2 fingers up at me, Hilda Ogden.
What sort of a note was that? Dear Ron, I've got to go away for a few days. We'll be in touch. Sorry, Elsie. Straight out of the blue. No explanation.
Said all there was to say.
Oh, no. Come on, Elsie.
I just wanted to come home.
Why? You never mentioned home for weeks.
I suppose it being Christmas, I just felt, well, homesick.
So you packed your bag, left a 2-line note and disappeared.
I just wanted to come home.
You're a liar, Elsie.
Don't you call me a liar.
But you didn't even come home.
Well, where do you think I am now?
Why?
I just thought you wouldn't understand, that's all.
Did you expect me to?
No, so I left you a note instead.
A note's not your style, Elsie.
Look, I'm sorry, I'm feeling a bit rough. I didn't get much sleep last night, and in fact, I didn't get any.
What makes 2 of us?
I'm sorry, Ron. Really, I am.
I suppose you know Susie's gone to London.
Yes, well, I suspected something of the kind. All her clothes have gone. She didn't even leave me a note.
Would you mind terribly if I joined you for that cup of tea? I feel grotty myself, though. In my case, it's probably the whiskey.
Of course. Help yourself.
I've got to be going soon. I've got to be there before morning. I've got to take him to church.
Nobody's stopping you.
But I can't go without an explanation.
You've already had one.
Oh, yeah. You had to come home for Christmas. Look at it. Look at this house. It's like a morgue. And look at you.
I'd have been out on the flaming town by now if you hadn't turned up.
Oh, yeah, sure. Would you have gone even as far as the Rovers? Oh, look, Elsie, why? When everything was going so well, when I thought I had it made, why, Elsie?
I've told you.
No, you haven't. I don't believe you.
All right, then. Don't ask me. Ask your flaming boss.
What?
You heard.
What's he got to do? What's Mr. Pickering got to do with it?
Couldn't keep his flaming hands off me. That's what he's got to do with it.
Why didn't you tell me?
Would it have made any difference?
Of course it would.
Are you trying to tell me that you didn't know, that you didn't even suspect?
I had no idea.
I don't believe you now, Ron.
I had no idea, I tell you.
Oh, come on. What happened every time his missus went out? Come on, Ron, let's get out the car. Let's give Elsie a treat.
Well, he's like that, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, fine. Great for the first couple of days. And then the mauling started. He couldn't get close enough to me. Every time I was going up the stairs, every time I sat down for a meal, every time I tried to get into the car. And he couldn't wait to get you out of that flat so as he could get into it.
I had no idea.
But his missus had. And I think you had and all. And I think you turned a blind eye just to avoid trouble. Well, isn't that it? Isn't it?
All right, so he fancied you. Where's the harm in that? After all, he's not the first man to... Well, is he?
Goodbye, Ron.
Look, Elsie, this job means a lot to me. It's a dream come true. I like this job.
Goodbye, Ron.
I'll tell Mr. Pickering you're not well.
I said goodbye.
Afternoon, Mrs. Sharples.
Good afternoon. What's your ham like?
It's very nice, love. Quite lean.
Oh, right. Well, I'll take a slice. Right. Cut thick. If there's anything worse than lean ham, it's a lean chap.
You treating yourself, Mrs. Sharples?
No, I'm treating Elsie Tanner. Her cupboard shelves are that bare, I'll swear she lives on fags and coffee.
Have you moved in with her then, have you?
Under protest.
I think you'll be very happy together, Mrs. Sharples, you and Elsie.
Well, there's one thing. At least she did offer me a roof over my head, and that's more than anybody else did.
How's that, Mrs. Sharples?
Oh, that's very nice. I'll take it. How much?
55p.
Do you think of numbers these days?
We have to make a living, love.
Well, my husband used to say he couldn't understand why people had to make a profit out of food, and neither can I. There'd be fewer famines if food were free, and that's a fact. Thank you. Good afternoon.
Do you know, I think she sits at home thinking of what waspish little sayings to bash me over the head with.
I wonder.
What?
Well, if she did settle in at Elsie's, she'd make a nice little pal for Elsie, wouldn't she? They could swap crochet patterns and make each other cocoa at bedtime.
Ooh, do you know, you're evil, you are.
Stops you getting morbid, Al.
Yeah, get that down you and then go and have a couple of hours on the bed.
Oh, I think it must be a nervous headache or something. I feel a right fraud, you know, leaving little Gail to cope on her own.
Look, it may be flu. There's an awful lot of it going around.
I've never let flu keep me off work before, have I?
Ah, yes, but then that was before...
Before what? Come on, spit it out. You must have something on your mind.
Well, look, do you feel that you're really up to this new job of yours?
What do you mean, up to it?
Well, on your feet all day, cooking, dashing about after a lot of fellas.
I'm not exactly decrepit, you know, Mrs. Sharples.
Nobody's saying you are. You're still a fine figure of a woman.
Oh, tar, thanks.
But you could ease up a bit. Stop trying to prove to yourself and to everybody else that there's nothing changed in the past 30 years, because it has.
Oh, you got to keep fighting back, haven't you?
Yes, I suppose so. Are you not going to go upstairs then?
No, I'm going to have 40 winks on there, and I'm going right back to that cafe to give Gail a helping hand.
You won't let anybody help you, will you?
Will you? You've been here a bit, haven't you?
Since dinner time.
Yeah, I can see.
You've not had your tea yet, have you?
Oh, no, I can't face food in that cafe with it sitting there looking at me all day long.
I'm an egg, suit you.
Oh, sounds fine. Not very good for my figure, though.
Does it matter at your age?
It matters at any age, Mrs. Sharples.
Right. Well, come on and get it stuck inside you while it's still hot.
Oh, lovely. After you, madame. Tar? Hey. That looks lovely. Did you bring it with you?
I've been shopping. It's better than starving.
How much do I owe?
Nothing. By the way, thanks very much.
What for?
Putting me up.
Oh, come on, I got bags of room. You can go in the back room, how's that, Ecky?
Well, it won't be for very long.
What do you mean? You can stop here for as long as you like, as far as I'm concerned.
Let's see what you're saying in another day or two. Come on, Elsie Tanner, let's be having you before this toast goes cold.
Mrs. Sharples, I know it's 8 o'clock. I don't have to be out till gone past.
Well, you can sit down and have your breakfast and enjoy a good cup of tea. Have a read of the paper if you like. Better than going out, dashing out at the very last minute. It's very bad for your varicose veins,
I
you
haven't
know.
got varicose veins. And I never read the paper in the morning, not till night time, so you can have it.
I read it an hour since.
Do you always get up in the middle of the night?
Well, I suppose it stems back to the fact that I used to have to get up for 6:30 for the mill. And then later on I used to get up and get with Alfred, get him off, but I liked him to have a warm breakfast inside him when he got out to work. And then, of course, lately, I've given myself the luxury of an extra hour in bed in the winter mornings.
Luxury? A wardrobe full of Italian shoes, that's luxury, not staying in bed till 7 o'clock.
For anybody who's starved, a bad orange is luxury, Elsie Tanner.
Will you tell me something, Mrs. Sharples?
I'll try.
The old days, the bad old days, why do you keep harping back to them? Because they've gone now.
Well, bad old days they might have been. There's no might about it. They were. Do you know, when the people next door cleaned their house out, they used to swill it out with a hose pipe. But they were the days when I was young, though life was hard. It was very sweet. And that's why we old people live in the past.
I hope I don't.
If you do, your memories will be a bit racier than mine.
I've only got your word for that, Mrs. Sharples.
Is Galen here, Elsie?
Well, if she isn't, it's a stuffed dummy sitting here.
Hi.
What do you want?
Well, you weren't in Calf and you're not on the dome, so guess you'd be here.
You weren't all that interested in me whereabouts this dinner time.
Well, I had to go on for something, so I popped in Rovers instead.
Not that I missed you. Not with Fangio to chat me up.
So you've been sniffing around again?
It's good fun and very nice. Ask Elsie.
I think you're encouraging yourself.
Of course I do. Hello, Dan.
Oh,
Just
lovely.
cooking your supper. It's only undercooked.
I'm told I'm on steak.
Oh, just a few pieces I didn't manage to eat myself.
I'm not complaining.
I see you've got your travelling bag with you.
Never without it.
Bet you could tell a few stories, that, eh?
A few.
Well, you better go and get washed. You're to your bread in 5 minutes. I hope you like mushrooms.
Love 'em. I've got something to tell you. I've had a stroke of luck.
Oh, come up on the pools, have you?
That'll be the day. Now, I'm losing oil. The lorry is. It's got to go into dock for a couple of days.
So?
So I'll be around for a couple of days and all.
Well, can't you go back to London?
I could. But is it worth it? I ask myself when
When?
I could stay here.
Who says you could?
Can I? I mean, 1 night, 2 nights. What's the difference? Look, I'll clean the place up for you while you're at work. I'll have your tea ready for you. Now, you couldn't get a better offer than that, could you?
It's just that I've...
What?
Oh, go and have your wash.
You're a very sensible woman, Elsie. You know that?
Hey, you! Whatever your name is, grubs up.
Never mind what's your name. How many fellas do you usually cook breakfast for?
Oh, dozens on a good week.
I believe you. Thousands wouldn't.
Oh, yeah? What makes you think you're the only one, Big Ed?
Well, it's not a club, that I do know. You're not that type of woman.
Oh?
Well, you're not a butterfly, love. You may be a bit of a flirt, but at heart, you're a one-man woman.
Oh, am I? And what makes you such an authority on that?
Because at heart, love, I'm a one-woman man. And like they say, it takes one to know one. I'm not late, am I?
Oh, no, not much. Only half an hour. It's a good thing we're not eating till later, otherwise you've had 2 pork chops for earrings.
I had to get something, didn't I? Prezi for you.
What, another one? You must have a guilty conscience.
I happen to be a very generous fella.
Yes, I've heard from your friend Ernie. And before you say what's that supposed to mean, why don't you ask him?
I already have.
You have?
Ernie's got a big mouth, a very big mouth, and one day he's going to find it full of somebody's knuckles.
Dan,
I never thought you were a picture of innocence, youthful innocence, when you first came into my life, any more than I was. But there's one thing I can't stand. That's fellas or anybody going around saying that I'm one of Dan Johnson's pieces, like I was bits of a jigsaw puzzle scattered all over England.
And he's a frustrated little nobody, Elsie. He spends the best part of the week away from home, tucked up in his crummy little pit with nothing but a cup of cocoa for company, thinking everybody else has had it except him. All right, so we have a few laughs here and there, I admit it. But it's only natural, isn't it?
Look, what you do when you're not here is none of my business. I mean, I don't expect you... If I'd have wanted somebody that I wanted to put wraps on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, I wouldn't have even looked at you twice in the first place. But there's one thing I want you to get into your head, Dan. Don't ever make a fool of me. Not ever. Now, are we going to open that, or are you going to thump me round the ear hole and walk out the front door?
You mean I've got a choice? You know, I could really fancy you when you're married.
Oh, no, you couldn't. And don't you ever forget it.
It was a smashing night out.
Terrific. You don't waste much time, do you?
I never see much point in hanging about, though. What are we standing out here for? Let's go in.
Oh, I don't know, Dan. It's not really my place. Alf and Reenie might not like it.
There's a famous answer to that, you know.
I believe I know the one you mean, now you come to mention it.
Dan Johnson, I've got something for you. Here! You're not spending the night in my house, or any other night for that matter, so there. I suppose that's Billy Price, your best mate you stood necking with.
Elsie, calm down.
Drop dead. And stay away from me. You played your rotten games too close to my front doorstep. Get back to the slug you've been with. Maybe you'll find she's a bigger mug than I am.
To do a scene with Pat was like a fantastic game of tennis. You know, she'd hit it. And she'd say, come on, Goodyear, you can hit harder than that. From your background, hit it.
Yes, love. I don't want to drink, Betty. I'd just like a word with Madam there, if you don't mind. Bet, if you don't mind.
She wants a word with you, does Elsie?
Oh, does she?
It's not about that fella, is it?
Why not ask her?
But we don't want the slanging match in here, love.
Elsie?
About last night.
I thought it might be.
What game do you think you're on?
Look, Elsie, I'm sorry that you had to see us like you did.
Oh, you mean you'd rather I hadn't found out at all?
I know how you must have felt, and like I said, I'm sorry.
Is that all you've got to say?
Well, there's not a lot more I can say, is there?
Well, I can, and I'm warning you, lady. Don't you ever try and make a fool of me again like that.
Try and make a fool of you, Elsie. I wasn't even trying.
Now, listen, you, once and for all, if ever again you put your sticky fingers on any fella that belongs to me, I'll knock that stupid peroxided head right off your silly shoulders.
Do you know, it's funny. I don't remember him, Dan, mentioning he ever had out to do with you.
No, well, he wouldn't, would he? He wouldn't have chance, not with you throwing yourself at him like he was the last man alive. Did he know that you throw yourself at everything in trousers that comes through that flaming door?
Funny you getting so upset, Chuck. I was under the impression he was under your roof as a lodger, bed and breakfast.
Now, don't you get clever with me, madam.
I thought you saw him last thing at night and first thing in the morning. Of course, I could be wrong.
You could be very wrong, so watch what you're saying. There could
All
be
right, Elsie,
you
all right,
can't
that's
even
the end
keep
of
a
it.
fella of your own, can you?
At least I don't hold open house. Bring your lorry to Elsie Tanner's.
You cheap foul mouth flute!
I suppose the older you get, the more jealous you get, eh?
All right, I've heard enough. Now, come on.
Definitely had enough.
Shouldn't you be saying that to that bag?
Look, it's you that's working
For
here.
God's sake, forget about the whole damn thing. She's on home territory here. Don't forget that.
She didn't have red hair for nothing. I mean, she could really, really let fly, as we see in so many of the scenes. So, of course, that was in Pat's makeup. That was part of her character anyway.
What are you doing?
Come on.
Get off.
Come on the deck with you, mate.
Get off. Let go.
On the deck, mate.
Get off.
Martin!
Come on, will you tell this lunatic to
Len,
let go of me?
let go, it's my grandson. Come down, love, before you hurt yourself. Come on, Chuck. Come on inside, how did he get here?
Well, you see, I finished at school. All they're doing is taking exams, so it's hardly worth it. See, I'm after something with my hands. Tell you what, if you got a washer, I'll fix that tap.
Hang on. Just 1 minute. Here we are. One washer.
Carry washers round, do you?
No, they pay me in them, you daft apers. The plumber was in today and left one on the counter and I pinched it while I wasn't looking.
Right, I'll need screwdriver, pair of pliers, and where's your stop tap?
Well, the tools you found in the drawer in there and the stop tap's under the sink.
Would you do this yourself, would you, Gran?
Well, normally, my grandson had to ride from Brummagem and I got Len Fairclough to do it.
He a plumber, is he?
He's the bloke that nearly had your leg off.
Thought I was on the tea leaf.
Who could blame him? You arrive out the blue, nobody knows who you are. Hey, are you sure you know what you're doing?
Done it for me man many a time.
She's a lucky girl, is our Linda.
Well, I mean, my dad does nought in the house, does he? And our Paul, all he thinks of is his hair. Kate Bush and his pathetic girlfriend.
Oh, he's got a girlfriend, has he, Paul? Look, love, I'll have to be off. I'm not going to come back and find the kitchen flooded, am I?
Don't worry, I've got the touch. Fella I reached down with, all his electrics were going. I stuck my head under his bonnet, said, look, your fan belt's slack. Thought it was magic.
Oh, where's me wellies?
Only what's in the pipe. See? Stop flapping, have some faith.
You're as bright as a new shilling, you are. Just like our Dennis. Look, I'll have to go, love. Come over to the cafe if you want. If not, I'll come back and give you tea here, eh?
Great.
By the way, I can leave you with confidence, can't I? I mean, I'm not going to come back and find my furniture floating down the road.
Look, I'll crack this, then I'll watch the telly. If the picture's wrong, I'll adjust it.
Oh, will you? Cheerio.
Hello, Elsie, come in.
Not stopping, only popped in for a minute.
Gail, Chelsea.
Hello, Elsie, what are you doing?
Well, I brought you a present. Well, it's for him, really. It's not much, but I wanted him to have something.
Honest, if we get many more, we'll have to buy another house to put them all in. Thanks.
Can I have a peep?
Yes, me mum ain't eating him.
Oh, they're lovely at that age, aren't they?
Well, we think so, don't we, love it, eh?
You know, I think he's got ever such a look of you, Brian.
I should up for yes.
Look, he really should be in bed.
Oh, right. Say good night to Mum and Dad.
Oh, Mum and Dad, and it make us sound old.
Well, wait till they call you Grandma and Granddad.
I'll thank you to lower your voice when you say things like that.
Join the club.
Are you coming?
Yeah, in a minute.
Right. Come on.
I'm glad you popped round, Elsie. I wanted a word with you.
Oh, why me?
Well, I wanted to ask you a favour, really.
Oh, well, go on.
Well, we don't know when the christening is yet.
Well, it'll be about round the end of the month.
And we'd like you to be godmother.
Hey, aren't I a bit long in the tooth for all that?
Oh, go on, Elsie. I'd be ever so disappointed if you said no.
Yes. Well, why me?
Well, you've been like a second mum to me. And if it hadn't been for you giving me lodgings in the first place, I might never have met Brian.
Oh, I see. So I'm responsible for my lad upstairs, am I?
You will, won't you?
Well, I just hope you know what you're doing. Because if I'm the same influence on your Daniel as I was on my own grandson, you might live to regret it.
I reckon we'll take that chance. Hey, love?
Hey, that was terrific, that, Hilda. Hey, should we go through it again?
I thought you were going Rovers.
It's all right, there's plenty of time. It'll still be there.
Quite right. You do well to take the same approach, Stanley.
It's bad enough for when he makes that thing. Well, when you join in, it's like a cat's chorus.
Are you knocking my singing?
I am. It's flaming wicked.
You must be tone deaf.
Text one to no one.
And what do you mean by that, Stanley?
Oh, never mind about him, Hilda. I know good singing when I hear it. Come on, let's run through that again,
Go on,
all
then,
right?
you start off.
I'm going Rovers.
Stanley, I just can't stand any more.
I've got to live with it.
Live with it, you're part of it. If they're not caterwauling, you're bellowing.
Well, don't tell me, tell her.
Look, you can't come marching
I just can't stand any more of that row.
Oh, don't show your ignorance. You're talking about good music.
Music is as much like music as dragging a little stick along a park railings.
Do you mind? That's a golden oldie we was playing.
You weren't playing it, you were throttling it to death.
Oh, charming.
I'm going pub.
Yeah, I'm coming with you.
Goodness for that, maybe I'll get a bit of peace.
Look, don't let this one drive you out of your own home. Oh, you've got a cheek. Coming in here complaining after all I've always put up with from you.
Such as what?
Well, you've always had a noisy house. There was them two girls what lodged with you. Then your Martin playing his daft records at top belt.
Martin has gone now, hasn't he?
I don't care when I think of what I've put up with over the years.
Look, Hilda, you've been at that all morning. And when you've got a headache, the last thing you want is that squeeze box going all morning.
Headache?
That'll be all the boozing you do, I dare say. Well, you get no sympathy off me. No wonder Ivy Tilsley goes on about you.
What's it got to do with Ivy Tilsley?
Well, I'd feel just the same if it were my grandchild. You, godmother. It's a farce, is that? I'm not surprised she wants to get shut of you.
Give us 3 lattes to take out, love.
Just a flying visitor's desk.
I've got Gail's mother at our house for a dinner, haven't I? More or less invited herself. Sitting down to dinner and she says, oh, I always like a glass of beer with my fish and chips. I've had to come out as I said something.
Oh, you did right. That's 84.
Yeah, I've got it right, love.
Now, say to me what you said to her.
You are? She's got the wrong end of the stick as per usual.
This one has been going round saying that you're objecting to the fact that I'm the baby's godmother.
Oh, I never said no such thing.
Well, what did you say then?
Never mind what she said. I know what she said. I want to know what you said.
All right, I'm entitled to my opinion, same as everybody else.
Yes, and if you're going round the town snagging me behind my back, I'm entitled to know about it.
Ladies,
so come on, tell me to my
ladies,
face.
would you
face.
lower
your voices, please?
I simply said what I think, and I don't mind telling you to your face. No, you're not my idea of what a godmother should be, if you like to know.
Oh, and why is that, pray?
Well, for a start, I shouldn't think you've set foot inside a church from one year's end to another. And for another, a godparent is supposed to be a good influence on a child.
Oh, and are you insinuating that I'm a bad one?
Well, you've been married 3 times to my knowledge. Never mind various others going on.
You nasty, narrow-minded old bastard.
You really must insist that is quite enough. Mrs. Tanner, not another word, please.
I've said all I've got to say to her.
And Mrs. Tilsley, we'll have no more of this, please. I will not have these shouting matches in my house.
I'm very sorry for embarrassing you, Mrs. Walker, but it's not of my choosing. I'm going. I prefer different company.
You'll have my company whether you like it or not tomorrow in church. I'm sorry, Mrs. Walker, but I did have provocation.
It's disgusting, isn't it? The way some people show themselves up.
Hey up, must be working.
What must?
New perfume of yours. What was it? Essence of sausages. Lover boys in.
Now look, Sandra, I've just had about enough of you for one day. If there's any more of it, there's... Hello, Wally.
Hello, Elsie.
You were saying?
What are you doing here?
Well, I fancied a cup of tea, and as the shop that side's a paper shop and that side's a dry cleaners, I thought I'd come in here.
Daft beggar. I thought you'd gone out of town for the day.
Yes, I had. I got through sooner than I thought. Couldn't have to do with that cup of tea.
Yeah.
Hey, why don't you come and sit down for 5 minutes?
I'd love to, but you can see how I'm fixed.
I'm not useless, you know.
Oh, thank you. My feet will be grateful to you forever. Oh. Oh, do you want something to eat? I forgot.
I'm starving, actually.
Look, I'll get your menu.
No offence, Elsie, but I thought I'd go somewhere else tonight.
Oh. Anywhere interesting?
Well, nowhere special, no. I thought I'd have something to eat in town and then go on somewhere afterwards. You know, there's a couple of films I'd like to see. Thank you.
Oh, I can't think of the last time I went to the pictures.
No?
Well, it's not much fun on your own, is it?
I can't say I've ever really thought about it. You know, if I want to go to the pictures, just go. Simple as that.
Well, if you want anybody along to unwrap your chalk ices...
Oh, well, look, I mean, you know, if you'd like to come with me tonight...
No, you daft beggar. If you want to go on your own...
No, I didn't say that.
Well, it just so happens that my ticket to the Lord Mayor's Ball have got lost in the post, and I do happen to be free. Oh, hello, love. Come in.
You know, I just realised that I couldn't remember what number you said, man. I nearly knocked next door that side.
Oh, it's a good job you didn't.
Why? Is she easily upset?
Oh, no. No, she would have been delighted with Hilda. Well, come in and let me give you a quick drink.
Well, I thought as we were so close, we could walk down to the Rovers. Come on, I'll buy you a drink.
OK, but a quick guided tour of the premises first.
All right, if you like.
Yeah. Well, as you can see, this is the living room. And I'd want you to use it as your own. I mean, I wouldn't want you to keep to your room or anything like that.
Well, that puts you one up on my digs for a start.
To tell you the truth, I'd be glad of the company.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. Well, upstairs then.
All right, lead on.
This way. Ah, Hilda, just the lady I wanted to see.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, I believe you were worried earlier on about Wally having a key to my place.
Oh, yeah, well, I was just wanted to know that everything was all right. You know how it is.
Oh, I do indeed, Hilda. And just to put your concerned little mind at rest, Wally has a key because from today on, he'll be living with me. He's moving in as a paying guest.
Well, that's one name for it.
Pint of bitter and gin and tonic, please.
Yes.
Oh, well, I'll sub up then.
No, it's all right, Chuck. You take your time. Don't want to rush you.
You've made a smart move there, you know. Elsie's a great girl. And she's an old friend of mine.
I know she's a great girl. You don't have to tell me that.
Well, looks like you've been and gone and done it again, kid.
I've told you. He's me lodger.
Oh, I know what you've told me. I can't say I blame you. Better luck with this one than the last there, kid.
Oh, come on. He's not Danny Johnson. He's different.
I hope so, Elsie. For your sake.
Oh, thanks. Smashing. Cheers. Oh. I've been up there so long I feel like a prune. Oh, good, you found the lager.
Busy night?
Oh, never stopped.
I'm going to pay you for this.
Another insult like that and I'll land you one.
Elsie, I'm paying you for bed, breakfast and evening meal. Now, anything else is extra. I'm not going to have you out of pocket on this.
No, you are considerate, aren't you?
Well, I just don't like to take advantage, that's all.
No, you don't want me to. You lose me job. You don't want me out of pocket.
Well, is that so unusual?
For me, it is, yeah. Most of the fellas I know don't give a damn about my welfare.
Well, you've had some bad luck.
No more than you. We both know what a bad marriage is, don't we?
Well, you get over it, don't you? Mind you, I think it's easier for me than it is for you.
Why? Because you're a fella?
Well, women get hurt more, don't they? In their emotions, like.
Well, I think we show it more. I'm not convinced that we feel it more. I just think you lot think you're sisters if you show any emotion at all.
Well, there's not much point, really, is there? No one wants to hear your problems. They've got enough of their own.
I do.
What?
Want to hear your problems?
Well, I haven't got any, have I? Not at the moment, anyway.
No, it's just that what I'm trying to say is I want you to feel as if you can trust me, that's all.
Elsie, we're friends, aren't we?
I hope so.
Good. We shall make a muck-up of this arrangement, else.
No, we won't. This is going to work.
Elsie, love.
Look, I just wanted you to know, that's all. You know, while we've been going out together, we've laughed, we've chatted, we've talked about ourselves.
Yes, we had some good times.
And never once, never once did you...
What?
Did you try anything on?
No.
And that's what's different about you and all the other fellas I've known is grab and what's your name again afterwards.
Well, I don't believe in that.
You know, you're smashing. You're really smashing. Oh, heck. Why do I have to make all the running? I mean, do help me out. Don't let me do it all. Is it because it's my house? Because if it is, I don't want you to feel like that. I want you to feel it's our house. Yours and mine. Oh, Wally, we're grown-up people. And we're not responsible to anyone. We've no worries.
Elsie, you've got it all wrong, love.
What?
That's not what this was all about.
What then?
Well, just friendship. I mean, I moved in here as a lodger. Not to live with you, not in the way you mean. I mean, it never occurred to me that you wanted...
I suppose I said that I do.
Then I think both of us have made a mistake. I'm sorry, love. You must think I'm a bit thick, but
No,
really...
no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's me that's made the mistake. I hadn't realised you found me quite so repulsive.
Don't say things like that.
What else?
I think I'd better leave.
You stupid, ugly old hag.
Well, look who it is. Hello, stranger.
Elder?
Thought you'd hibernated or something. We've all been very worried not seeing you about.
Yeah, well, I've not been feeling too well.
I called round myself this afternoon, you know.
Yes, well, I was probably asleep in bed.
Ooh, looks as if you should still be there. You don't look at all well.
She does wonders for your confidence, doesn't she?
She's a little marvel, isn't she? Gin and tonic, please. Right.
Betty, will you put another gin and tonic on that order, please?
Okay. Thanks very much.
You're very well.
Was it something I said?
Leonard doesn't approve of you and me going out together on the razzle.
So with him, is he going straight-laced in his old age or something?
Well, I think he's got your interest at heart, Elsie.
Chop with that gin and tonic, please, Betty. it's a long time since I've been in here, and it hasn't improved.
No. I had my first ever drink in here. We used to nip in from Liberal Club round corner. I'll not tell you how old we were. 2 G&Ts, love.
Right, love. You know, it's all coming back to me. Yank used to bring in here an Air Force captain. He thought he'd seen a bit of real old England. Locals used to sup off him all night. Still, it was a fair swap, I reckon.
So what happened to him?
Raid over Germany. Ed Werner, his name was. He was forever picking me up and swinging me round.
They are, ladies.
Thanks, love. One for yourself.
Tom. Don't I know you?
Do you know, I was just thinking I knew you.
Shirley Bennett. Shirley caps it that was.
Oh, of course. Bet Lynch that was and still is. We went to school together, me and this one.
Actually?
Do you know I haven't seen you for donkey's years?
Well, I've only just come back up north. Well, last year. I lived in Portsmouth till we broke up, you know. He was in the Navy. Well, we were all right till he finished. Retired. And I found I couldn't stand him.
She's a right one, that. Plus even me and Cher. You know what she used to do? She used to let the bloke that she were going out with bring her home. Then she'd nip straight out through the back door and meet another one that had been given her the hire to dance all her in a pub.
Well, didn't everybody do that?
That's more like it. Cheers, Cock.
Give us a pint, shall?
Hang on, I'm having trouble with this till.
You'll be having trouble with me in a minute, darling, if you don't get a pint in my hand quick.
Kid, I think I've clicked.
You only got one head and all. Can't be bad.
Come on, Shirl, my throat thinks I'm living in a desert. Not change your mind then, love?
No.
I couldn't sit and watch somebody else drinking, could you, Elsie? Like torturing yourself, that is. Worse than looking at stiffs. Cheers, love.
Cheers.
One on her own, is she your mate? Independent type?
Look, will you stop talking about me as if I'm dumb or something? It annoys me.
Sorry, I'm sure.
I've had enough to drink.
Oh, come on, Bet, what have you had?
Enough.
Oh, don't be a wet blanket. What's up with you?
Yeah, come on, enjoy yourself, darling, like Elsie is.
Is that what you call it? Excuse me.
Excuse me? Certainly, your ladyship. Leave her mink coat on the bus, did she?
Oh, she's all right, is Bet.
You could have fooled me. Mind you, who's bothered? I'm not. I got the good-looking one.
You know, you were front of the queue when they were dishing out cheek, you were.
Where have you been all my life?
Oh, Paris, Hollywood, Mustique, The Cop, places like that, you know.
I had you down for a film star as soon as I walked in.
Oh, give
on my mother's grave. Married, are you?
No.
Live on your own?
Yeah.
Locally?
Oh, not far away.
10 out of 10.
You cheeky.
Don't bite it, darling. It can bring you out in spots, you. There's only enough for one.
You have it then.
Oh, I couldn't.
You have it. Oh. It's time you were getting off home, you know.
Yeah. Well, it would be if I hadn't got settled in here.
Yeah, well, you're not stopping.
Oh, you're not turning me out this time of night, Elsie. I'm afraid of the dark, you know.
I've told you, you're not stopping here.
Yeah, just like you told me I couldn't see you home and I couldn't come in.
Yeah, well.
You know what they say, Elsie, love? Never spoil the ship for Abe at the time.
No, you're a cheeky devil. You get off. No.
Come on, it's 10 o'clock. I've got work to go to. Come on, it's time you were up and out.
What's all the push about, love?
I told you. I've got work to go to. I've been off all week. If I don't go in this morning, I stand a chance of losing my job.
Never spoil a good night out by rushing off to work next morning, love. I never do.
Oh, you do work, do you?
Well, I've nothing better on.
Oh, you're dead lucky, you are.
No, just good at what I do. Stick a shovel in my hand, I'll dig through solid rock for you. There aren't many of us about since muscle were mechanised.
Oh, fancy that. Well, I'm going now.
Well, off you toddle then if it's going to make you feel any better. Myself, I feel a bit lucky today, like I could win a few quid.
Well, I want you out of here as well.
Hmm?
I want you out of here now.
Oh, come on, Elsie, love, have heart. I haven't had me breakfast yet. I could eat a dead donkey.
You surely don't expect me to start
Well,
cooking
yes, I was expecting, like, a little reward. But I can do it myself, don't fret. Have you got any bacon in?
My God, you weren't behind the door when they were dishing out cheap, were you?
Well, you should know, love, if anybody does.
I prefer you out of here.
And I'd prefer it if I had some breakfast, love. I'm a growing lad.
There's some bacon in the fridge in there.
Thanks. I'll only have a couple of rashers. I'm not greedy. Well, give us a kiss, ta-ra, then. When are we going to have another night out?
We're not.
Oh. Didn't you enjoy yourself or something? You give every impression that you did. You've changed your tune, haven't you, love? Forgotten last night, have you? You got a very poor memory.
I was drunk last night.
Yeah, I think I must have been as well, seeing you in broad daylight.
You pig.
Oh, stop giving me all these compliments, love. Hey, I forgot to ask, have you got any eggs?
Oh, here's another one. Elsie.
Hello, kid.
What are you having? Hilda's coming to money.
Oh, hey, it won't run to her sort of drinks.
Gin and tonic, please, love.
Right.
You, not working again today, then?
Yes, as a matter of fact, Hilda, I've just finished.
Oh, that's funny. I could have sworn I heard somebody moving about in your house dinner time.
Well, Hilda, last week you heard somebody moving about in my house. And we all know what a load of codswallop that was.
No, I could have sworn.
There you go.
Thank you, love.
There was other noises as well, like somebody breaking glass.
You don't mind me saying so, Hilda. You hear noises because you listen. Why don't you give your lugholes holiday for a change?
You can't fool me, Elsie Tanner. I know what's been going on in that house today and last night, and I think it's a disgrace in a respectable street. I'm going to ask to have my rates reduced with you turning it into a fairground. I thought you was past all that long since.
So you did click last night?
You should know you've been broadcasting it around enough.
Touché, as Mrs. Walker would say. Although I'm damned if I know what that means. How did it go?
Let's say I got what I asked for.
Well, you were warned.
Yes, I was warned.
He lived up to his repulsiveness, did he?
Oh, much more.
But have you learned your lesson?
Shall we say I've given myself a good talking to?
Well, that's something.
Yeah, I think so, anyway.
You know what makes it more difficult for us? If there wasn't just the odd good un, the odd nice fella. I mean, if they were all like him last night, well, it'd be a case of San Ferrian and we could settle down to a good game of Newmarket and to hell with, fellas.
Right.
How do you do?
Evening.
Hello, Elsie. Are you feeling better?
Yeah, much thanks.
Well, that's
Who's going to have a drink on me? A fella paid a bill today that I thought had left the country.
Now he tells me when he's got me in here instead at Midland.
Elsie.
No, thanks. One's enough for me tonight. I had more than enough for myself last night. See you.
Tracock, I'll join the Mothers' Union with you if you like.
You're on.
Bill, are you there? Oh, no.
Hello, Chuck. I've got something for you.
Something big and expensive, the man said.
I'll have a lager, please. Here you are. Usual bet, please.
Right, love. What's this for?
It's the key to my front door. You'll need it, won't you? Eddie told me that you wanted lodgings. Now, I know we haven't discussed terms and all that, but... Well, if I don't suit, just say so.
Of course you suit. You couldn't suit better. But it's the first I've heard.
I thought you two were in constant radio contact, like 10-4 and all that.
Bath is flat. Have you spoiled my big surprise, Elsie? Have you given her the griff?
I've just given her the front door key, which means she can move in this after.
Who was that on the phone?
Oh, it was Chokey. One of the bin gangs haven't turned in. They want me to work this afternoon. 25 quid, such, you know.
He's going with a blonde, isn't he? Big peroxide Bertha's meeting her down at the docks.
Can you manage the moving in?
Yeah, of course I can. It's only a couple of cases and a few bits and bobs.
Yeah, well, if there's anything heavy needs umping, Stan will be in. Won't you, Stan?
Hey.
I'll see you later. We'll celebrate.
Oh, listen, Eddie, there's a couple that live across the road. I promised them faithfully I'd babysit for them tonight. Oh, but if you're going to be on your own...
He won't be on his own. He can come with me to the Legion.
Oh, all right, go on. I'll go to Legion. You get settled in. I'll see you tomorrow.
Hey, you want to watch him, you know, else? He'll be over them rooftops, over the rafters, down that little trapdoor. Tell you, it's all crafty stuff with Eddie, you know.
That little trap door is over my bedroom.
He knows the score, doesn't he? Got it all weighed up. Fred, the phantom roof crawler. I bet him and Emily Bishop have been at it for years.
Hey, no chance.
Oh, getting a bit taters out there.
Well, no, stand there, you daft apers. Come in and get warm. What's in here?
Well, it crossed my mind you might be feeling a bit peckish.
You must be clairvoyant. I was just toying with the idea of baked beans on toast.
Good thinking, but I'm ahead of you. Fish and chips twice.
Oh, good lad. You can call again, you can.
Not bad, that, Chippy, is it? Hey, dead nosy, that guy who runs it, though. I mean, he stopped serving and came outside for a stroll round the car.
Well, I don't suppose everybody picks up the fish and chips in a car like yours. I bet you've got the whole of the inside stinking of vinegar now.
So what? They're only boxes on wheels, aren't they? And for washing down the aforementioned. Nothing special, just a bottle of Vino Collapso.
Oh, how lovely. What else do we need?
Only a corkscrew.
Oh, there.
Right.
There, gum. I bet even half a Scargill isn't sitting down to a meal like this. Sure don't want anything to eat, Jeff?
No, thanks, love. We had fish and chips earlier on.
I'll just wash these few pots up. Oh, leave them till morning. Oh, no, Elsie, I can't bear a sink full of dirty dishes first thing in the morning. All right, I'll come and put the kettle on.
Jeff, are they taking any blokes on this firm you work for?
No, I don't work for the firm, Eddie. The firm works for me.
Oh, it's your own business. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realise.
No offence, mate. No, when I say the firm works for me, it's a partnership, a syndicate. We all put a few thou in just to get the thing turning over.
Sort of high finance, like?
Nah, not all that high. Just a few thou piece to get the thing off the ground.
Yeah, I haven't got that kind of money. I mean, I've got some money, you know, savings, like.
It's getting the first couple of thou that's hard, Eddie. Once you've got that and you can put it to work for you, it gets easier.
Well, I've got about 1,000.
Yeah, well, good luck to you, mate. But like I say, we're a syndicate. I mean, I couldn't let you in even if you had the money.
No, I understand that, yeah.
Mind you, as well as the firm's business, I have one or two private ventures of my own going, usually in the same line. You know, I might bring back a car now and again for a special customer who can't get across himself. I might be able to put a share of that your way if you wanted to invest.
Oh, yeah, I'd be very interested, yeah.
Well, I can't promise definite, but if something comes up, I'll do my best. Any friend of Elsie's is a friend of mine. Here, finish this off.
Where are you taking me, then?
To the 10th best restaurant I know.
The 10th best? Well, that's all I'm worth, is it?
Well, I would take it to the best, only it happens to be in Belgium.
Is there anything worth looking at in Belgium? I mean, I wouldn't know, really.
Well, why don't you find out? I'm going over again. Collect another car probably next week. Why don't you come along?
I hope you mean that, because I fancy the idea.
Then pack your bag.
Oh, that be Hilda Ogden. That bottomless cup of hers again, just because you let your car outside. Come in!
Oh, you're just on your way out, are you?
If I can find the means of getting in again, yes. Keys,
well, it's
keys.
Jeff I wanted to see anyway.
Oh, I haven't got time to talk business now. Got a table booked for 9 o'clock.
I haven't come to talk business. We've done that. I don't go back on my word, you know. 50's all right.
You don't hang about, do you?
Do you?
Well, you'll need a receipt or something. I don't normally do business this way.
Well, Elsie can be a witness, you know. I mean, she's a friend of yours. That's good enough for me.
Well, I must say, I'm only letting you do this as a friend of Elsie's. I mean, this is not a lot to come in with.
This is to me.
Where I put them behind the flaming bread bin.
Elsie, will you be a witness? Look, £1,000 from me to Jeff by way of buying a motor, by way of business, all right?
That is £1,000.
Well, it looks like 1,000.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to leave it lying round the oggies. I mean, if Stan saw £1,000 in one go, the shock would see him off, you know.
Look, does Marion know about it? No, on second thoughts, don't tell me. I just don't want to know.
Look, let's just say that I'd rather you didn't spoil the surprise for her, you know.
All right.
Well, she won't have to wait long. Look, are we going or what?
I'm ready.
Have a nice night.
We'll try. You taking Marion out tonight?
Yeah, we're going to a bit of a party next door, you know.
Yeah, well, don't bring her back too early, will you, partner?
Got you, partner.
I thought you were waiting for me.
I'm coming.
Hi, Elsie.
Hi.
Over here, Els.
Hiya, where's Jeff?
Better get it ordered in, love.
Could I have a gin and tonic, please, love?
Gin and tonic, bet when you're ready.
Right, did you not want to come for a drink?
Make an early start for tomorrow, are you?
Elsie?
He's not been.
Bit late. Busy on business, is he?
He won't be coming.
What do you mean?
Well, I thought he might have been kept late or something, so I rang his office. His boss answered. And Mr. Ward. He said he hadn't seen him for 2 days. He said he'd gone missing.
One gin and tonic. Eddie?
Missing? That's what his boss says.
Better have you a minute? Do you want this gin and tonic, Eddie, or not?
Mrs. Tanner?
Yeah?
Jim Ward. We spoke on the phone yesterday.
Oh, Jeff's boss.
Yes, that's right.
Have you heard anything?
Well, yes, I have. Look, may I come in?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes, come in.
Thank you.
Yes. But where is he?
It's not very good news, I'm afraid.
He's not had an accident or out, has he?
No, nothing like that.
Sorry, me. Just a minute.
I just left... Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you had a visitor.
This is Mr. Ward.
Oh, pleased to meet you.
Jeff's boss.
Oh, is there any news?
Well, that's what Mr. Ward's come to tell us.
Well, as I was about to tell Mrs. Tanner, I've managed to contact all the people that he was supposed to be visiting in Ireland.
Supposed to be visiting?
He hadn't met any of them. So I got my secretary to check out the hotels. The bookings had never been taken up.
So you never went to Ireland?
I even went round to his digs on the off chance that his landlady might know something. He settled up and cleared out nearly a week ago. I'm sorry, but it looks like we've seen the last of Jeff Siddle.
That didn't take you long, did it?
I've missed him, haven't I? He's gone back to work. Had a transfer spot of overtime down at the depot.
Yes, well, he's going to have to be doing plenty of that in the future, isn't he? Oh, come on, love. I know you've had a shock, but you've got to try and snap out of it.
It's all right for you, Elsie. You've not lost £1,000.
No, but it didn't exactly come up smelling of roses, did I? That cost me 45 quid for that rotten gear.
45 quid? What's that compared to what we've lost?
Not a lot, I admit. And my pride's got a rotten dent in it the size of a dustbin lid.
Well, you've only got yourself to blame for that, haven't you?
Well, what's that supposed to mean?
Well, it was you that picked him up, you that brought him back here. Eddie would never have set eyes on him if it hadn't have been for you.
Now, just a minute, love. I know you're upset and you've every right to be. But I didn't exactly force your precious Eddie to hand his money over. From what I hear, he couldn't wait to get shut of it. And another thing, if he couldn't suss that Jeff was a wrong...
Oh, so it's all Eddie's fault now, is it? And what about you? Because from what I hear, you know enough about fellas to fill an encyclopedia.
Don't you start that with me, madam. Commonly innocent. Have you lived the life of a saint or something? What about that soldier boy you shacked up with? The one you went off with after you got engaged to Eddie?
But that was a mistake.
Oh, so you can make a mistake, can you? But I can't. Well, let me tell you something, madam. For your information, this is my home. And if I want to bring the entire male population of Weatherfield up here, I shall do so. And it's not to do with you or anyone else. And if you don't like it, you know what you can do.
Oh, I'm sorry, Elsie. Honest, I didn't mean it. It just came out. I'm sorry.
Oh, my God. Oh, that Jeff Siddle's got a lot to answer for, hasn't he?
Look what's just wafted in.
Oh, hello, Betsy. Not changed a bit, has he?
Well, not to look too close, that is. Kid, where did you land? Where did you come from? And why didn't you let me know you were coming?
Oh, you know me, love. It's all spur of the moment. Well, how is everybody?
Oh, smashing.
Hey, great to see you, Suze. You bring a bit of sunshine to the gloom.
You better not let your fiancé hear you say that.
Fiancé?
Yeah. Got myself engaged. Bet that surprises you, eh? How about you?
When you spurned me, Edward, how could I look at anybody else again?
Still chucking herself at out in pants, I see.
Oh.
She can chuck herself in my direction any time. Seeing as nobody's going to introduce her, love, my name's Chalky. I'm his gaffer. Now, can I buy a lovely lady a drink?
Oh, that's very sweet of you, Chalky. I'll have a large Pernod with ice, please.
Right, love.
That's just to let us know she's been to London.
Yeah, let's go and sit down and have a natter. You will excuse us, won't you? I mean, we've got a lot to catch up on. She used to be my lodger, this one.
I thought it might be again, but Gail says you've got somebody.
Gail?
Yeah, I stopped there last night. A nice little cosy domestic setup they've got, them two.
Well, yes, it is now.
Hey?
Anyway, tell me all the news. I've got about 5 minutes before I get back to the factory.
Oh, that's something else I want to ask you about.
Here we are.
Did you say where she was going?
No, I just think she wanted to get out of the house, that's all. You know, go walk about.
Yeah. Still, it's been a nice afternoon, thank goodness. It's worse than working in a fish shop is a flower shop when it's cold, you know. Can't have any heating. I'll get that. I saw the flowers go off.
Do you know, that's something I never thought of.
Hello, it's Susie and I'm Terry Goodwin.
Oh, can you just hang on a minute? Elsie, it's him.
What?
That Terry Susie was going on about.
Sit down, I'll see to it. And what can we do for you?
I'm sorry to disturb you. I hope I haven't called at an awkward time.
Were you looking for Susie Birchall?
Yes.
Yes, well, I'm afraid any time would be an awkward time.
Ah, I have got the right address then.
Oh, yes, you've got the right address. Just one thing. Susie isn't in. And for another, even if she were, I don't think she'd want to see you.
Oh, dear. Only I've come a long way, you see. I've been on the road since 2.
Seems like you've wasted your time, doesn't it?
Does.
Oh, come on in.
Well, I don't want to be any trouble.
You won't be. Sit yourself down.
Oh, thanks.
Do you want a cup of tea?
Oh, I'm dying for one, tell you the truth.
Well, now that you're here, you might as well stop till Susie comes back. Say your little piece.
I'd be very grateful. Thanks.
There's just one thing, and I'm telling you straight.
Yeah?
If Susie doesn't want to talk, no argument. You go on your way, quietly.
Oh, of course. Right.
Sugar?
No, thanks.
Are you working?
Sales rep. Polishes, cleaning fluids, that sort of thing. I have other plans, though. I mean, that's just for the meantime.
You stay there. I'll see to this. Susie.
Hiya.
Look, it's all right. Don't worry, but he's here.
Oh, God, Elsie.
No, it's all right.
Look, I've told you I don't want to see him.
It's all right, I tell you.
Susie!
Oh, you're clever, aren't you?
I only want us to talk. Can't be any harm in that, can there?
I've heard all that before.
Well, let's face it. We can't carry on like this, can we?
No, we can't, because there's nothing to carry on about. I have told you I don't want to see you. I don't want to talk to you.
You can't just say that.
I've just said it.
Oh, come on.
Now, look, you. Remember what I told you when I told you you could stay?
She can't just refuse to talk to me.
Well, I think she can.
Yeah. Look, I'm going. We're back when he's out this house.
No, it's him that's going.
I'll tell you why she can't refuse to talk to me, shall I?
No.
Because she's my wife. That's why. We're married. And she's my wife.
What happened then? Did she come back or didn't she? We'd gone to when I got off and she hadn't landed then.
Oh, it was after 3.
You know, it's funny. I thought of a million reasons why she should suddenly and unexpectedly come back here. But never run away from her husband. That was the last thing I thought of.
Well, what I can't get over is how she never said a word. I mean, all this time. How could anyone keep being married a secret?
Yeah, well, that's Susie, isn't it? I hope she doesn't like it. She blanks it out. She's probably convinced herself by now that this never happened.
I mean, he's not my type. He's a bit too flash for me. But he didn't seem all that bad. I mean, to have cleared off on him the way she did. I must be honest, Elsie, I felt a bit sorry for him last night.
Yeah, well, I've seen you look better.
Oh, I'd sell my mother for that.
Oh, be my guest. Where did you go to when you flounced out on us last night?
I did not flounce. I was upset. I just wanted as much distance between me and him as I could get. So I went to a wine bar and met this bloke and went to a club, you know.
Yeah, I know. I get the general picture.
I wasn't enjoying myself, just something to do. So go on. What did he say after I'd left?
Not a lot. He just left.
He didn't make a scene?
No. He didn't seem like that two-headed monster, me, that you told me. Not enough to justify all that drama.
You don't know him, Elsie. I do.
Well, if he was such a diabolical monster, why did you marry him in the first place? I assume that part of it was true.
Oh, yes, that part's true, unfortunately. How did it happen, Susie? All too easily. Oh, yeah, girl meets plenty of fellas in London. But they're all married, gay, or on the make. Terry seemed, well, different. Made me feel special. He had a good job at the time, and he was free. And we fancied each other. And you were lonely?
So?
When he said, let's get married, it seemed like a great idea. All more exciting for being so daft. We'd known each other a couple of weeks.
So what went wrong, then, with this whirlwind romance?
Everything. The minute I moved in his flat, everything changed. All the fussing, all the attention. He lost his job. He didn't rush out to get another one. I mean, why should he? He had his social security and a wife earning good money at the casino. I was a skivvy, and he was on velvet.
Oh, well, that'll make a change, won't it? I mean, it's you that's usually laying back and some other poor mug doing the running about for you.
Oh, Elsie. I was in love. Or I thought I was. Have you done nothing stupid when you were in love? Or have you forgotten? Is it too far back to remember? Now, look! Stop it, you two. This isn't getting anybody anywhere. Well, I'm getting a fatter of sympathy, aren't I?
Well, go on, then. Is that why you left him after 5 minutes? Because he was a bit on the idle side?
He had a temper as well.
Oh, and of course, madam, you're always sweetness and light, aren't you?
Oh, no, I've got a temper. I'm having trouble controlling it right now. But I don't go around thumping people, do I? You what? He hit you? You know, it's funny. When I read about battered wives, I thought about poor, pathetic little females who have the guts to stand up for themselves. Listen, do you mind if I go back to bed? I feel lousy.
And what about fella, me lad? He'll be coming back, you know.
Then tell him I've emigrated. Marion, you tell him he's got an honest face. But surely you'll have to see him sometime. He is your husband. Only on paper as far as I'm concerned, and the quicker that is ripped up, the better. What a mess. I feel dead sorry for her, Elsie.
You meant to.
Oh, I know in the past she's always well exaggerated a bit. Surely she wouldn't lie about something like this.
Wouldn't she?
You don't believe her, then?
Well, there are two sides to every story. And I'd like to hear his side before I make up my mind.
But she's your friend, Elsie. You've known her a long time.
Precisely. Yeah, thanks, anyway.
Okay, love it.
What's happened? Well, he's just arrived and I left him to it. I made an excuse I was popping over to see Gail.
Didn't you want you to stop with her?
Oh, she did.
Doesn't sound like Susie, that needing moral support. He must be a right Sarah.
It's gone now, has he? Sorted something out, have you? Hey, Susie, madam, I'm talking to you. Oh, my God.
I said I needed you to help me back. I'm pretty sure.
Baby, shush. Steady the buffs.
No, seriously, I have often thought you might have a vocation for bar work.
I know, Mrs. Walker. I'm strictly one of them thirsty Indians. I tell you what, why don't you ask Susie? I mean, she'd come round like a flash if she thought there was a couple of quid in it.
Great idea, yeah. Beats the cavalry, doesn't it? I'll go and get her, eh?
Geronimo, you'll stay where you are. I suppose I could give her a ring.
Well, why not? She's at home now.
Hey, I'll tell you what, Mrs. Walker, you give Susie a tinkle, and me and Elsie long for here.
If you're sure you can cope.
Of course we can, Mrs. Walker, no danger. Right, wagons in a circle, shoot when you see whites of their eyes.
Get on with it, you daft ape.
Right, line them up, gents. It's Dodge City prices. A shot of the red eye, calamity. Just a sweet cherry.
Well, I found your bag anyhow. Found a few of your things. Are you packing them or shall I? Look, I don't know where all your stuff is, do I? Well, I don't know what you need.
You've head testing, don't I?
You what?
I said I need my head testing for getting mixed up with you.
Now, don't start that. Don't start the cracks. That's no way to sort ourselves out, is it?
Oh, blimey.
Well, you need your stuff in London, won't you? I don't want you moaning at me because you forgot your toothbrush or something.
I will not be moaning about my toothbrush or anything else, because I'm not coming to London with you or anywhere. Let's stop playing these daft games, eh?
Susie, are you in? What's up with the phone? I've been ringing and Oh, yes. Where did Laughing Boy spring from?
He broke in, didn't he? And lay in wait. I would have phoned the police, but he knows all about wires. Now he's threatening all sorts. He's going to do himself in.
Oh, no kidding.
No kidding, Mrs. Tanner, or whatever your name is.
Oh, don't worry, Sunshine. I know you're the type that means what he says.
Or whatever type I am, I don't need your flannel, so keep your nose out.
Keep my nose out? How flaming dare you? You break in here, you mess about with my phone, and then
All the phone needs is the wires reconnected. You know how to use a screwdriver, don't you? Come on, we're going.
Get lost.
Oh, for God's sake, put a smile on your face, you dozy slag. I'm carrying your flaming bags, aren't I?
Get out of here, get some help, go on.
Look, this is a private matter between
Now,
me
look,
and my wife.
Monkey, I've had enough of your tricks.
Look, get out of the way.
I'm not budging. So unless you want this to get very, very nasty, and sit down there and get a grip on yourself. In here.
You all right?
Yeah.
Where is he?
Upstairs.
What's he doing?
He went to the bathroom.
Look, let's get this straight. You've got this fella here and you've asked him to leave.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, well, be fair, we can't come in here throwing our weight about until we know the full story, can we?
Has he threatened you else?
Said a few things. Sat down in that chair. I told him a few home truths and he shot off upstairs.
Look, don't be kidded. He can seem all right than going these terrible tempers. He could be up there cutting his throat. He's threatened also. He said he can drive his car into a wall.
Perhaps I better go up and see.
Hey, let's not get too heavy-handed.
Look, if he's up there committing suicide...
this your toothbrush?
Yes. That's my toothbrush.
Shall I pack it then?
Oh, do what you like.
Look, son, don't you think you better start being a bit sensible?
Look, she doesn't want you. There's nothing down. It's like you're 6-0 down against Liverpool at Anfield. All you got to save is your dignity. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I know what you mean, all right. Don't worry. See, I've lost, can't I? I mean, you could have been playing hard to get, but then you wouldn't have needed the heavy mob, would you? Goodbye. Thanks for nothing.
Listen, son, if you're driving...
Who said I was driving?
You said you had a car. You said...
I say a lot of things. Don't you? Like in church?
Right, this'll not take long. I just came round to tell you that any friendship we had is strictly and permanently in the past.
Hey, hang on. What am I supposed to have done before you sentenced me to be hung, drawn and quartered?
Don't come the innocent with me, Susie. I know you too well. Ye gods, I always knew you had very few scruples, but I did think you'd stop short at trying to pull your best friend's husband.
Did he say I did?
He said you tried.
Oh, I see. So he was the poor helpless little victim, was he? He screamed help but no one came to his rescue?
Look, I know what happened.
You mean you know his version of what happened?
Well, I might have known you'd have a different one, but his is the one I believe.
Oh, your faith is touching.
I'd have believed you once, but you've changed. I do know Brian, though, and I trust him.
If he's such a gold-plated little saint, why did he invite me in then?
You invited yourself in with your chicken chow mein and your bottle of plonk.
He didn't exactly chuck me out, though, love, did he?
He thought you were coming as a friend. My friend.
That's what I did go as, love. Look, I knew you were at your mum's. I know blokes who don't cook for themselves.
Very thoughtful.
I thought I was doing you both a favour. How was I to know he was going to turn randy on me?
You're a liar, Susie Birchall. You're a rotten, lousy liar.
I don't have to sit here listening to you calling me a liar.
You never did like the truth, did you?
Oh, you're so smug, aren't you? It must be nice to know you're always in the right.
In this case, I am right.
I hope there's some smiling faces in here because it was hysterical over there.
What's up?
Ask her. See what kind of fairy story she tells you.
Well? Oh, well, see, it was something and nothing. Talk about jealous wives.
Am I going to hear this story or am I not?
I took her precious Brian some supper round, and that's all.
Is it?
Do it flaming isn't. She threw herself at him and then invited herself to stay the night. Don't look so surprised, Elsie. You know she's capable.
Oh, now just watch it.
Now, just a minute. Let's hear what really happened. I want the whole story from you, madam. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And if I don't get it, I'm going to pull every red hair out from its flaming roots.
All right. We had supper and a bottle of wine, and he began to get friendly.
He did?
Oh, now, come on. Don't look at me like I'm the Wicked Witch and he's flaming Snow White. He's had his flings, hasn't he? What about that nurse in the Middle East?
All
I bet
right,
there's
we're
been
not
others.
talking about ancient history, madam. We're talking about now.
Some things don't change their spots, Elsie. That's lepers and straying husbands.
Oh, you rotten, lousy little...
Oh, go and call him, love. He began it and he finished it.
And what does that mean?
Look, take no notice of her, love. She's just doing it to get you at it.
No,
She's doing it on
know what she
purpose.
means.
If I did spend the night there, it's 'cause he asked me to.
He did no flaming such thing.
Because he told you he didn't?
No, because I happen to know that you didn't. I had to get up about 12:30, you see, to go to the bathroom. So I looked in your room to see if you'd come in. And there you were, fast asleep in bed.
But it serves her right. She needs a shaking up. She's so smug and complacent. With her home, a little boy and her husband. She makes me rotten sick. Oh, hello. It's in the doghouse, am I?
I haven't sat up this late to rake up all that old muck again.
Oh, thank goodness for that. I wanted to, it was something that blew up out and out. He made a pass at me. I didn't exactly slap his face. My next face has grown quite a fanciful bloke over the last couple of years, has Brian. I mean, I'm only human. And it's now what you've not done.
Not with my best friend's husband, I haven't. At least I had some standards.
He's bored with her. She You'll lose him, you know. If not to me, then to somebody else.
You've caused enough trouble round here, but not anymore. And that's why I've waited up. To tell you to pack your bags and go. You're not welcome round here anymore.
Oh, come on, Elsie. Maybe I did go a bit over the top. But it's not like you to adopt this high moral standards. Elsie Tanner, you'd be the biggest slag of the lot.
And that's not for me. That's for Gail. For what you've done to her.
What have I got to say? Is I'm sorry? All right, I'm sorry. Maybe I did go a bit berserk. But come on, Elsie, you don't want me to go, do you? We're mates, Elsie. We've been through more than this and survived.
No. You've changed. I don't know whether it's going to London or getting married or whether you were always rotten underneath and it's just showing through now. You caused a lot of trouble around here, but I put up with you. And you know why? Because I liked you. Because I thought I understood you. But after this last effort, I don't like you anymore. I don't even understand you. So that's why I'm telling you. Not asking you. Telling you to pack your bags and get out.
Bayek, somebody starts singing and look what happens.
Is there a Mrs. Fairclough here? We were told there was.
Well, yes, that's there you can hear singing.
Is there somewhere we could have a private word with her?
Well, yes. Yes, you better come through to the living room, Fred.
Betty, do you want me to get Rita?
Please, Lois. What is it exactly?
If we could just have a word with her. Do you know her well?
Yes, I mean, we all do.
Well, you best come with us then. Now, where do we go?
Straight to them.
That was smashing that time. I enjoyed it. Can we do it again? I've got to play now. Play Yeah. You're going to play Stardust? Oh, yeah. Do you remember that one, Stan?
I do.
Aye. Seems like yesterday, doesn't it? Where does your life go to, eh?
Well, we need, especially in opening hours.
Hey, where did Rita go?
Oh, I don't know, Chuck.
Well, I mean, they don't come round for nothing, do they? Not with a policewoman and all.
Well, I never said nothing. I don't know.
Hey, Bet, would you go and fetch Rita's coat and her handbag, please, love?
Yes.
What is it? Well, it's Len. There's been an accident.
Oh, my God.
I mean, I don't know whether to go in there and tell them or what, but he's dead, love.
Honey, me.
In here.
I just came round to see if there was aught I could do.
I'm all right. Mavis has been a saint.
Are you on your own?
Just for now. She's gone to do papers and then she's closing up at tea time. Till tea time.
Are you all right?
As well as can be expected.
Well, you don't look it. You didn't go to bed last night, did you?
Well, I wouldn't have slept any road.
No, I didn't sleep much either. I just lay there, trying to convince myself it was all a rotten nightmare.
Aye, me and all. Only now I know it isn't. It's real. Len's gone. And everything he worked for, everything he built, everything he planned, me and him, all gone. Wiped out in a split second. How can it happen, Elsie?
I don't know, kid. Honest, I don't. But I know exactly how you're feeling. Believe me, I do. You know, it's like losing your best mate, your kid brother, and the only pal and the man that you trusted in the whole world, all in one. And there's not much else to lose after that, is there?
Not like losing your husband, though, is it? It's half my life gone. Just wiped out.
I know. And there's not much I can say to change that. But I still think there's something left to be thankful for.
Thankful?
Yes, thankful. I think I knew Len Fairclough as well as most. And I think you ought to be glad that you met him when you did. And that you had the sound common sense to marry him when you did. And that you had the 6 best years of your life with him.
6 years?
It's nothing, is it?
6 years with Len Fairclough? You must be joking. It's better than 60 years with some of the fellas that I've met. You turned up just in time to cheer up an old pal.
A fella?
No, not a fella. A job. Just chucked in a lousy job. And other things besides. You didn't come here for me to depress you, did you? Tell me about Portugal.
Gregory's Bar?
Hey, oh, it's lovely. What do they call that purple stuff?
Bougainvillea.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, we're a couple of miles outside Albufeira, right by the sea.
Well, tell me.
What can I say? It's another world. Very quiet where we are. Almost a village. Just miles and miles of golden sand and the sea. We open late morning, stay open till 2, 3 sometimes. We've still got customers. We serve the best sardines on the coast. Well, anyhow, that's my story. Now, you sit out under the stars at night, still be in the 70s at midnight, drinking vino verde. It's...
Another world, you said?
Yeah, we've worked damned hard as well.
Oh, I am sorry. If I'd have known you were suffering like this while I was having the time of my life sitting in my sewing machine.
I thought it was a club.
No, it was a club this week. It was a factory last week. Next week, who knows?
Not what I'd have seen for you, Elsie.
Not what I'd have seen for myself, either. Shall we finish this, or shall we eat first?
Oh, I'm in no hurry. Perfectly happy as I am.
So am I. You know, that's the first time I've been able to say that in years.
Why did you come back?
Oh, I don't know. When Alan and I broke up, it seemed the only sensible thing to do. I never made any friends in Newcastle. So I came back. Home to lick me wounds.
And stayed?
Lazy.
Oh, not you.
Oh, well, always finished up on my own middin.
It is possible to break out. I did.
Yes, you did, didn't you? And now you're here. Oh, only briefly, I know. Well, let's make the most of briefly, eh?
Hiya.
You know you sounded just like Hilda Ogden then.
We all do in the fullness of time, Elsie. And thanks, I will have a cup of tea.
Help yourself. There's a mug on the sink. You're up bright and early for you, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, I was lying in bed this morning listening to Alf slicing the bacon and arguing with himself whether he should sell his Krugerrands or not. And I thought, now, who do I know's life's going through a very fascinating stage, and having a good natter with her would make a change from going quietly balmy.
Who is this lucky person?
Come on, Elsie. Don't be coy. Went out with Bloomers. What's cooking?
Nothing's cooking.
Oh, come off it. This bloke, Bill Gregory, sails over from Portugal to see you.
He came on business. He heard about Len and he called round.
What's his proposition?
Proposition? What are you raving about?
All right, so he's not made one yet. But you must be hoping he will do, aren't you? Elsie, aren't you?
He's a nice fella.
Who's on the market?
He's an old friend.
Old flame.
I was very pleased to see him. No further comment. And you can stop looking at me like that and all.
I bet it's lovely in Portugal. Tons warmer than round here. Spring just round the corner. Hibiscus in the garden.
What do you know about hibiscus?
Now, I bet they've got some in Portugal. Oh, come on, Elsie, be honest. You must be hoping to swap something more than just memories. You must be.
All right, I am.
I knew it, I knew it. Is he well off? How big's his bar in Portugal? What sort of chap is he? He's been in the Navy, hasn't he, so he can't be a stick of rhubarb.
Will you stop it? I think I know what you're doing. You're giving yourself a little thrill, building castles in the air for me.
Do you blame me? That's another thing I could hear while I was in bed this morning. Rain dripping off the troughing. Drip, drip, drip. Every drip a second of my life, and all of them wet and miserable.
Well, things haven't been too clever for me lately either, have they? So I've got to be careful and not start seeing rainbows too soon. But I tell you what.
What?
Chance would be a fine thing.
I wonder if he knows what danger he's in.
Of all that it is you have,
In first war and in last, and that's a well-known fact.
Oh, that's rubbish, Mr. Tatlock.
Have you ever been up to the eyes in mud? Oh, no. You always had a nice warm mess room to sleep in, didn't you? I slept for a week once, stood up in a trench.
I've never known a swaddy yet who didn't complain about something.
I don't like being called a swaddy either, especially from a dry land sailor.
Dry land? I was in submarines for over 12 years.
Does that mean you'll not be wanting this rum he's bought you then, Albert?
No, he owes me that. Fighting for him while he was chasing girls in Chatham.
I wasn't even born in the First War. Anyway, I was a Pompey rating.
You can't win, you know. Albert has to have the last word.
Is he always that cantankerous?
No. Some folk remember a day in 1935 when he was seen to smile. It was the day when Ina Sharples fell down the cellar steps and broke her arm. 172, please, love.
Oh, yeah, right. And have one for yourself as well.
Do you know, you're very nearly perfect. Don't you think so, Elsie?
Of course.
Okay.
Yes.
Did I miss something there?
Oh, no, that was just Bet being Bet.
Right. Well, good health.
Cheers.
Well, my Friday wild's almost over, worse luck.
Your Friday what?
Oh, it's what what we used to call weekend leave in the Navy. Friday while Monday or Tuesday or whatever.
Ah, I see. You're going back then? You're going back to London?
Yes, I'm going back to London tomorrow.
Oh.
So, I thought we might go out and have a meal somewhere tonight.
That sounds a nice idea.
Anywhere particular? Now, myself, I'd like to go to a nice, cosy little country pub. I miss pubs. You know, real ones.
Yeah, considering the length of time you and Len spent in pubs, I'll bet.
Happy days
Happy
and
days.
nights. Do you know a good pub?
Well, there's a Dog and Gun. That's supposed to be good, and that's not so far away either.
Dog and Gun it is, then.
Sure.
Your change, sir. Was I right about the hibiscus?
Why don't you get back behind the bar before I dot you one?
Hibiscus?
No, ignore her. She's gone loopy.
You know, I've really enjoyed this last couple of days. Short as it's been. It's not easy to go back in time and find everything is like it was.
I'm not like I was 14 years ago.
You are, you know, Elsie.
How many times have you been back to England since I last...
I didn't come back. Not for quite a few years. I'd finished with England when you didn't turn up that night, I thought. Bill, old lad, new life for you, that's what you want. Oh, I've been back since 1975. Once a year at least.
And you found your new life, didn't you?
I found a life of sorts. Running a business. Oh, that's certainly living. Living on a knife edge, wondering if it's going to turn out all right.
Which it did.
Well, there's more to life than work, Elsie.
Oh, come on, you're breaking me heart. What about all them senoritas you told me about chasing after you?
That's Spain.
Eh?
Senoritas are in Spain.
Oh, well, whatever they call them in Portugal.
Meninas.
Meninas. Well, what about them, then? And them rich widows spending their husband's hard-earned brass in the Algarve.
Well, there were one or two waiting to pounce on me before I left, Elsie. Propping up the bar, dripping invitations and jewelry.
Oh, I'm surprised you ever came back to England at all, then.
I just came back for the rest. It's funny, though. It's incredible, really, when you think of it.
What is?
Well, in spite of all those years, all the water that went under the bridge, we're as we were, you and me, in our personal lives, aren't we?
I'm freer. There's no man now, like there was then.
No, that's true. But for him, you'd have definitely come back with me, would you?
Oh, like a shot.
Oh, I wish you had, Elsie.
Excuse me, your table's ready.
Okay.
Okay. Get away, you're having me on.
I'm telling you, he had children by all 6 sisters, and none of them seemed to mind.
It must be some fella.
No, he's not. He's very small, but wiry.
He'd have to be, wouldn't he?
Oh, dear. Been a good night.
Smashing.
Good food, good company.
Oh, thank you, kind sir, she said.
And the beer's terrific.
Oh, I am glad.
Makes you think of what we've missed all these years, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Well, that's life for you. Disappointment, that's the name of the game.
You can say that again. Mind you, I've had my moments.
I seem to remember one or two of them.
Hey, I think you're remembering too much.
Sign of old age, isn't it?
So they say.
That's all we've got left, you and me, Elsie. Memories.
Well, that's up to us, isn't it?
14 years, eh? What a waste. We're going to have one for the taxi. I don't want to be too late. I want to be away early in the morning. I've got a lot to do in London. Another Benedictine.
Please.
Okay.
Only me. Am I too early for you?
Depends what you want. Come in and don't stand knocking.
I can't stop. I'm on my way to shop.
Oh, have you time for a cup of tea?
No. I just called in to ask, would you like to bring your friend round to my place for a drink? Bill. Only he was very nice about Len and I was a bit, you know.
That's very nice of you, love, but he's gone back. At least he's going today. I won't be seeing him anymore.
Oh. I didn't know that. I thought he was stopping on for a bit. Oh, well, I'll leave you to get on with it then. To tell the truth, I thought the old flame might be flickering again.
Oh, no, nothing like that. Just a night out. Case of old lang syne.
And there's me thinking things were going right for you. Get some silly ideas.
You and me both, kid. There was nought in the advert about an age limit. Oh, I do so agree. There's nothing like the vitality of youth. And of course, they're cheaper when they come without experience. I take it you don't want them experience. Just a slave to work for you for 20 quid a week. And you. Oh.
Hello, Elsie.
What? I thought we said goodbye last night.
So did I, but it just didn't work out, did it?
You better come in. I thought you were going back. I thought you were going back to London today.
That still stands. It's the saying goodbye that didn't work out. I've come... I want you to come back with me, Elsie.
I think you better sit down. I can't understand what made you change your mind.
I'm not sure myself. After I left you last night, I went back to the hotel. The bar was crowded, but I was lonely. Tonight it'll be a different hotel, but I'll still be lonely. And tomorrow night I'll be back home. Well, it's not really home. Not yet. Just somewhere to hang my hat, sleep, work. I'm lonely, Elsie. Not for people, just one particular person. I've been lonely for you for a long time.
Oh, Bill. It's been 14 years.
And neither of us made a move.
No.
Did you think that when I asked you to come away with me that day 14 years ago and you said no, did you think that I'd shut up the shutters, that I'd written you off? Forgotten about you?
Oh, Bill, I didn't forget about you. But it's like the man says, time goes on. Things get in the way.
Well, there's nothing in the way now. Come back with me,
Oh,
Elsie.
Bill.
Look, I am not the begging sort.
Bill, be sensible. We're not kids anymore.
Your bones don't creak so much in the Algarve.
Oh, let me be serious, will you? How do we know it'd work out after all this time?
People don't change. Not after 14 years or 1,400 years. I found that out last night. And I'll tell you this. The day you get fed up with me, tell me. And I'll go out and buy you a plane ticket back home. I can't say more than that.
Oh, Bill, I've got things to do here. I own this house, for Pete's sake.
Elsie, you can start a new life in an hour, and you know it. That's the taxi. I told him to come back. There are people I must see. I've got to get that train. There's where I'm staying in London tonight. Phone me, let me know what train you're on, and I'll meet you. I've got to fly out at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, but if you can't make it, I'll cancel the flight, we'll get another flight.
For God's sake, Bill, 1 minute I'm dozing off in the chair, and the next minute a fella I haven't clapped eyes on for donkey's years comes round and says, come and live with me. A nice fella, Bill, a lovely fella, but I can't make
Elsie, will you phone me anyway, please? Whichever way you decide.
Of course.
Promise?
I promise. Now, will you go away and let me think?
I want you, Elsie, more than ever.
Help. Look, Ellie. So with him?
Oh, he's fretting over his young lady. He's lonely, poor little soul.
Who isn't?
She's got it on her a bit today.
I'll tell you this, Betty. I'm going to paint myself a fella on a piece of cardboard. Cut him out and sit him on a chair in front of the fire. At least that'd be something to shout at.
I keep telling her, you're better off on your own. You've only got yourself to please.
I know that, Betty, I know that. But I can't, can I? I don't get on with myself.
She ever is such a wet Nelly. A J&T, love.
Yeah, please.
I'm not asking for much. I don't want Robert Redford or the Duke of Westminster. Just somebody who'll be there. Call me by my name. Give me a kiss now and again. Put me a shelf up while I'm doing his washing. Anything more would be a bonus.
Oh, don't forget what you could give him is important.
Oh,
love.
don't worry, Betty. I know that. And I've got plenty to give, given half a chance. I'll not be going round looking any more gift horses in the mouth and kicking them into touch just because they've not got a full set of teeth. Oh, no, you show me a chance and I'm going to seize it by the throat. I've wasted enough of my life. Am I right, Elsie, or am I right?
Dead right, kid. Hey, you're a pair of good uns.
Elsie, what about your G&T?
You drink it, love. Drink me else.
Good health.
Hello? Yes, thank you. Hello?
What will you be doing at 4:30 tomorrow morning?
You tell me.
You'll be at Euston, meeting the midnight from Manchester.
You're going to be on the train?
Well, I wouldn't be asking you to meet it if I wasn't.
Oh, Elsie. Elsie.
Am I doing the right thing?
You are. You are, and I'm going to enjoy proving it.
All right. 4:30 then.
Elsie? I love you.
I was wondering when you'd ever get round to saying that.
I've never stopped saying it. It's just that you haven't been hearing me.
All right. Well, get off the line, you soppy apeth, and let me get on with changing my life.
Improving your life.
Right, improving it then, but will you get off and let me get on?
Oh, Elsie, you're going to love it. They're a great crowd. The weather's out of this world, and the swimming. Oh, boy, that's swimming.
Are you doing this deliberately to make me miss my train?
No. All right. Euston, 4:30. See you then. Elsie, is your passport okay?
Yes, of course it's okay. I've checked it. Now, please, will you get off the line and let me get on with writing to my relatives and friends to tell them I've gone crazy?
All right, then. See you tomorrow.
See ya.
Mrs. Tanner.
Oh, give us a hand with me bags, will you, love?
Yeah, sure.
One minute. Hang on for a minute, will you, love? I won't bother asking you for an apology, Mrs. Walker, though some folk might. I'll just get out of here and we won't be coming back. You've no need to bar the Tanner family. We're barring you. Lay one finger on me, Mrs. Sharples, and you won't need that hairnet. You'll have no flaming hair left. What have I done to deserve you, Dennis? I've got gorillas in me sink, chorus girls in me bed, and I go out for 5 minutes and you let the flaming bailiffs in.
You ready, love?
Hmm?
Ready for off?
Oh, yeah. Just dropped my keys in with a neighbour.
How long are you away?
Ah, now there's a question.